The following may contain language which will be offensive to some people and inappropriate for children. The topics discussed may include drugs, alcohol, or be sexual in nature. This show is intended for mature audiences. Listener discretion is advised. I'm serious. It's dirty. Really, really dirty. Still here? Then pour your favorite beverage, sit back, and let's get this fucking show started.
Fantastic Forum, assemble! You're listening to Fantastic Forum, your weekly conversation about comic books and your live talk show about entertainment and geek culture. Welcome to Fantastic Forum. Hope you're having a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, or night, as the case may be, depending on where you are in the world. And if you're not, you should stick with us. We'll be taking it up a notch. You have the usual suspects in the building. First, he is our riddle inside of an enigma, trapped in Chinese finger cuffs. You don't know him. You love him anyway. He is our silent assassin, Jay.
Hey, what's up?
Next, he is our intrepid senior reporter. He's next in line for the cowl. He is our resident Dark Knight detective. It's Oz. I love it. I love it. Next, he's the backbone, the pillar, the strength of Fantastic Forum, our nigh invulnerable brawler and resident strongman, Moses Magnum.
Yo.
And as for myself, my name is Mary Young. I am your humble servant. They also call me Lawrence Young. Welcome to Fantastic Forum. We got a great show for you today. We are going to be talking to you all about the latest in comic book news. As usual, we're going to hit you with our impressions of 3 of the DC's future state books. That's specifically Superman of Metropolis, the next Batman, and Wonder Woman. And we will also review the Immortal Warrior. So we got all that along with whatever else it is that you all want to talk about. But before we do that, we want to make sure that we thank Mr. Scott Rubin, who without him, this show would not exist. So thank you, Scott. We appreciate you, buddy. Also, we want to go ahead and let you know how it is that you can get down with Fantastic Forum. So here's how.
Want to get in on the action? Call FantasticForum.Live and join the fun. Too shy to call in? That's okay. You can join the Discord chat room available at
FantasticForum.Live.
Join the party. You know you want to.
Indeed. Please, this is an interactive show, so you have an opinion, share it in chat. If you want to jump on and join our conversation, you're more than welcome, whether we're talking about something that you know about or whether you just have a question about it. Feel free to jump on and join the conversation in whatever topic we're in, or you could just jump on and start a new topic. It's Fantastic Forum. This is what we're here for. So we're about to have a good time. We want you to have a good time with us. Gentlemen, how are you all feeling?
Hanging in there.
Okay. Did you try to say something and it was low?
Yeah, I got it.
Oh, dude, I don't know what you got to turn your mic back up or on or something. I don't know. Like, you were fine before, but I don't know what you said. It sounded like that's much better. It's what it actually sounded like to me. It sounded like I got a big cock, but you said it with like a little voice, and that made it hilarious because it's like, oh, look, he didn't even believe he has a big cock. Like he was trying to sell that. But
what did you think he said? Sorry, you cut out. What did you think he said?
It sounded like he said, I got a big cock.
Okay, I'm gonna isolate that.
I mean, some truths are universal.
What did you say first, Oz? What were you trying to say?
I have a topic. I have a thing.
Oh, okay. What's your topic? What's your thing?
I just have it's been bugging me all day, and I figured now that I have you all here, I can discuss it because it's a problem with when we license our name to other products, we want to ensure quality control.
Right.
And so it's been a while since I've drank this stuff, so I don't know when they started doing this. But I picked up Moses' namesake. And,
Magnum.
L'chaim.
and it's bugging me that it's in a plastic bottle.
Yeah, man. That's not metal.
Well, they tried to do that here in California, and it didn't work. So now it's strictly a Midwest thing. So here you get them in the glass or cans, but for some reason it took off. They did it with Mickey's too for a while, and it didn't take off.
Yeah, I mean, it opened up like a soda. It was weird.
Yeah.
So I also got a King Cobra, and we're gonna try this one out. This is real glass
comparison.
quality. It might be the Magnum Cobra.
I've never had one of those before. Are they any good? The Magnum?
It's okay. It's kind of big.
It's a mouthful.
He also licenses his name to the condoms because when you got it, when you're a big dick, you need to be covered.
Yeah. In the time where everybody's infectious and contagious, and the ice cream too, because it's sweet and smells and melts in your mouth.
Moses, are you familiar with the band Magnum?
Band Magnum?
A band called Magnum.
Mm-mm.
Okay. I don't know. Like, I literally came across them while I was using my streaming service.
Which is
Tidal. I was using Tidal.
Okay.
And so I was like, huh, what is this? And I just, played the first song, and I was like, oh, I like this. I like this song. It's definitely it strikes me like a older song, like almost like a classic. I don't even know what kind of rock it would be. Like I don't think it qualifies. It's not hard enough to be metal, but it's on that cusp. I feel like where it's like,
depending on how old the band is, it could be like the proto metal.
Yeah, it might be, and when I saw like the actual picture of the band, I was like, oh, they look like an 80s, like almost like a hair metal kind of thing going on a little bit.
There's another band called Holy Moses. That's pretty good.
That's cool. That's cool.
Pat in chat says, I think I came to the wrong podcast.
Oh. Well, she just talked about that when we were having the Magnum conversation. I guess up until this point, every conversation we've had is a Magnum conversation, right? Whether it was beer, condoms, or the rock group. So I don't, the ice cream, right? Like the ice cream. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of those. I tried one. I thought it was going to be great. It wasn't bad. It just wasn't great.
The thing is, you're putting Magnum in your mouth. Like it's going to be weird to you.
I guess you're right. There it is. I won't make that mistake again.
Yeah.
Too much girth.
Yeah. It's a mouthful. Joe, you might want to get a little closer to your can.
Yeah. I agree. Or bring your mic closer to you, whatever works for you. I don't Jay's like,
it's like, well, see,
have the boom guy do it. Like,
see, okay, so that microphone needs to be upright, like kind of like this, and you need to speak to it where the
he froze.
I don't know.
There's probably like a mesh side, and that's where where it picks you up, right?
I just want to say real quick, I love this.
So you see, Joe, there's the brand on the back right here. So you're supposed to speak into that side.
Speaking to the back?
Well, it's the front, but you put it in backwards.
Like this feels like classic Fantastic Forum to me.
Yeah.
Like we've never done this before. I love it. I love it. Like this is it. This is it. Where you're like, oh, wait, which side of the mic do I talk into? Is it the cord? Talking to the cord, Jay.
And that's the thing about this show is what you're getting is live. It's real. We are not scripted. I might have mentioned this before, but like I watched a couple other YouTube channels that are supposedly nerdy and geeky, and it was when the WandaVision stuff came out. because I want to. Well, maybe I missed something. I'm not a huge Marvel person like that. I want to see if they found anything. And to this day, it still bugs me that more than one saw the necklace on Homegirl's that Homegirl was wearing and called it an upside down cross and try to link that to Mephisto when it's clearly a sword. It's so obviously a sword logo, and they're like, oh, it's an upside down cross and that's Mephisto and blah blah. It's like they read the same script. And a couple of days after I called them out on it, they did an update on that and said, hey, you know what? We think that might be a sword.
Yeah, man. Well, hey, I will say that if nothing else, what I believe the power of Fantastic Forum is that if you're a fan of this show and you happen to catch us out, not on the show, but just out in the world, what you see on the show is pretty much what you're going to get in person. Like, like these dudes act like this all the time. It's like, and that's something that I will say that, that's always been one of those things that's always been a little strange to me, where it's like, I'm not mad at people. Like, I mean, I've worked in the entertainment industry. I'm born and raised in LA. So I understand that you can have an on-camera and an off-camera persona. But, when you're talking about like nerd stuff and geek culture, I'm like, oh, so like you can only act like that when the camera's on? Like, like, it's like when you get around real people, like you're not that person. Oh, I'm like, oh, I didn't like it threw me because I didn't realize. I was just like, well, you're talking about something that you really enjoy, and I thought that hey, when you meet those people, that energy would carry over into real life. And it's not that they're not excited. I guess maybe, I don't know. I guess maybe they filmed the stuff with just on their own, so they don't have to interact with people. They're introverts. I don't know. I mean,
talking to a camera is weird, and you have to kind of psych yourself into it. But also, the audience can tell if you're not into it and you're just droning. I'm a victim of that. I drone a lot, so you gotta like do a couple bumps, and, and then you get the light.
There it is, and that's again that's Moses in real life too.
That's a psych myself.
Like, oh Jesus Christ, this conversation, they'll do a bump, and all of a sudden you're interested.
Okay, can you figure out this microphone thing? I don't know how much longer I can stall. I look up and he's still messing with it, so I'm not sure where we're at.
You can turn it, Joe, like this.
I feel like Jay's just fiddling at this point.
Yeah.
The base was loose.
Oh, okay.
It's like spinning just with my natural movement, so I had to tighten it real quick.
There it is.
Yeah, this is how the mic is for right now. Until I get my arm.
I still feel like he's talking in the wrong spot.
How's that? I don't know.
You got to talk to it like straight on, like how mine is, like this.
Like that?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's a lot better. That's
and that's the thing. So you got to turn it so that the stand is behind the microphone when you're talking into it. So you got to turn, but you got to turn the microphone back around so that the brand is facing you.
You're talking into the logo side, which I think is the messed up part on the foam, right?
Yeah.
Wait, you talk into the logo or no?
Right.
Wow.
No. Yeah, on that side. Yeah. So there it is.
I'm not sure if I've ever heard you until just now, Jay.
So say it again.
This might be the first time I've ever heard Jay's voice.
Oh.
Wow, I didn't even know. No, I'm joking.
Hexzilla in chat says, do something. The Don Jr. special.
The Don Jr. special. Look, allegedly.
See, seems more like the Hunter special.
No.
Oh wow! Allegedly. Listen, I will say, it would not shock me to find out that both of those guys' children do cocaine. Like, it's like,
well, I mean, it's a special drug. Like,
it's a special drug. Is what you said?
Social.
Oh, a social drug.
You go out, you hang your party, you do coke. Like, it's not a big deal.
Especially when you got money.
Right. Like, I don't know why you still make a big deal out of this. Like, I can't remember if it was Utah that started legalizing everything But the country needs to legalize everything.
I think it was Oregon, and technically they decriminalized, which isn't the same as legalizing.
And Colorado too, I think.
I don't think so. I don't think Colorado has decriminalized cocaine.
Well, Oz, was this your topic?
No, I just want to talk about the beer and the stupid plastic.
Oh,
bottle.
that was it. Okay, cool.
No, and then the nerd news. You don't remember that with the cross Mephisto?
Oh no, I was just stalling while you guys figured out the microphone.
Oh, well, listen, Jay's dulcet tones are on now.
But it is something that has been weighing heavily on me for a few days since I saw it. I thought I mentioned it on the show, but I might not have. So I figured.
No, I don't think you did. And I will say, like, Lord knows, like, I don't know how you all feel about it, but Lord knows that since the pandemic, it's like, there's like not as many people to talk to about this kind of stuff. Like, at least not you, or at least it's like I feel like the only people that I get to talk to about nerd stuff in a real way for the most part is Fantastic Forum, and whoever decides to call in, or it's been a real outlet, because Lord knows I'm just like, man, like I can't even imagine what a pandemic like this would be like without me doing Fantastic Forum. I can't even imagine. Yeah.
I feel like there's too many people to talk about this stuff with. Like suddenly everybody's a Ahsoka expert, everybody's a Wonder Woman expert. Everybody knows everything about Max Lord.
Well, you've always been our resident gatekeeper nerd, Oz. I mean, between you and Moses, it's like Moses has lightened up through the years, though. But Oz stays strong. He's like, wait a minute, when did you start liking this?
No,
it's last year, and the little girl's like, I'm 7.
It's just one of those things. Like I remember one time I said something about Batman, and somebody talked about how they've been a Batman fan for years, and I mentioned Damien, and they look at me like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, okay, you can't tell me you've been a Batman fan and you know everything about Batman and don't know what the fuck a Damien is.
That's fair.
Xenocore in chat says, "Oh god damn! Now I gotta look at these fools."
What up, Xenocore? Good to see you, man. It's been too long.
He also says Ahsoka was black from the beginning with those big old lips.
Whoa, wait a minute now. But Xenocore took no time to start objectifying Ahsoka Tano. He was like, "Oh, wait a minute. Did someone say Ahsoka? What about those lips, though?"
More like a sucker.
Wait, what? Wait a minute.
More like
now.
a sucker.
Wait, see?
No.
See? You always take it one step further than it needs to go.
I'm trying to move to the topics.
Let's move to the topics. I agree.
That's the only way. Otherwise, we're just gonna be,
chatting. Right, exactly.
How do you think she got so good with 2 lightsaber?
I need you all to play the news music right goddamn now. Please play the news music.
Comic book news. We should have a like her, but not like that, but like.
Did I win a prize?
I think so.
Come on now.
Oh, jeez. Okay, what are we going to talk about first, gentlemen?
People are mad at the Punisher. Like they're talking about canceling. I know we talked about this in 2020, and it's something I've brought up almost once a year. But now they're trying to like bring the Punisher back at Marvel, like what the rumblings are. And Garth Ennis, like he said something like, everybody wants to be the Punisher, but nobody really wants to be the Punisher. Nobody wants to actually like do the 3 tours of duty, come find their family killed. But they like the idea that they feel like they're doing something bad for a good cause. And it's just, I'm paraphrasing, of course, but it's really just an excuse to be a douchebag in a righteous way. It's no different than the Crusades or Manifest Destiny to me,
I love that analogy. Wait, Mo, just real quick, you're popping all of a sudden. Did you touch your mic?
Where did you all of a sudden?
He was popping before?
Yeah. He's been popping all day.
Yeah. Oh, I thought that was just
Yeah,
the
somebody could have
tape
told me.
playing. I don't remember him popping when he was talking.
I didn't say anything because I just thought it was my crappy connection.
Yeah, let me know. I thought my microphone might be too high, but I brought it down. Am I still popping now?
Yeah.
Popping, locking. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yep.
You're like,
Yeah, I don't know what to tell you.
One day we'll get this right.
One day.
Like I'll just get far away from the mic. Let's see if that works. I'll do a Joe and
Is that Joe? Is that how Joe does? He's like,
around the mic. But yeah, and so that's kind of one of the news I saw is I actually found out from Jimmy Palmiotti where he's like, yeah, I agree with Garth Ennis. Like, there's no reason you should take it out on the Punisher. You gotta take it out on the people that are actually wearing the Punisher logo and doing these things, And I brought up last year where whatchamacallit, during the BLM, like we started seeing a lot of the Punisher thing too. It's like, well,
during when?
The BLM protests and stuff in the summer.
Oh, right, because a lot of the police, or there was not a lot, but there was certain police groups that were utilizing the logo.
Right.
It gets used by military groups and like some I guess technically they're mercenaries, but because they're associated with a company, it's something else.
Oh, private military.
Yeah, it's like those private organizations. There's one that actually uses it as like their corporate logo.
My issue was with Marvel where they started suing people for certain things like copyright shit, but they didn't go after the people using the Punisher logo.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, well, look, this is your chance to really do something about this. I mean, DC will sue an ice cream truck that has a Superman logo. You know what I mean?
Right.
Why Marvel to sue some of these guys? But I don't know. Maybe Marvel's just a bunch of fucking pussies.
Well, I mean, that could be the case. But at the same time,
has a skull on his arm. He must be a tough guy. No, I don't want to fuck with him. Yeah.
But I mean, realistically, it doesn't feel as though there's a lot of history of Marvel suing people for, I guess a lot of logo infringement. It's not in the same way that DC.
But
and I want to say,
in 2020, they did like 3 or 4 cases.
Of what?
Of suing people for rights issues like that, showing logos and things. But they didn't go after the people,
Who Marvel did?
Yes. This was a news story. We did it on the show.
For who?
What do you mean
what
for
logo?
Show?
What logo?
Different things. Just random things that they felt were being their trademark infringed. They went after people. They did 3 cases in 2020, I believe.
Yeah, but I guess what I'm saying is I feel like I don't remember exactly what cases we're talking about here. But I don't think it's a logo thing, which is the main thing. Like, I know that the logo thing is something that DC does often, especially because people use the Superman logo so often, and which makes a lot of sense because it's like Superman is one of their big characters, and it's like you're like, okay, I don't want that used. However,
they have to pay off like all these freeloaders that have it right to it too. Yeah.
Are you talking about the Siegel family?
Yeah.
Oh, boo. but either way, listen. Hey, it's about rights. Like it's about whether rights were acquired properly, and if they weren't acquired properly, then the rights go to the next generation, like anything else, right? Like if you have the right to something, you can leave the right to that to your kids if you want to. And that's all it is. But either way, what I'm saying is, I don't know that Marvel has a lot of litigation history in regards to like strictly logo type stuff, and I just feel like that's something different than some of the other cases, because I feel like the other Marvel cases were stuff where they're like, hey, your story is like our story, or your character is like our character, which is a different thing than just the logo. But I do think that I guess it wouldn't hurt for Marvel to mess around and be like, hey, just try to enforce it just on the principle of it, And I'm actually surprised Disney didn't do it during the time when, you know, they were talking about the police groups that were like using the logo. Like they addressed it in the comic, but they didn't actually like, you know, do any kind of litigation or anything like that. But I could, you know, I guess on the other hand, I can understand why Disney might be like, well, maybe we don't want to, especially at that time, we don't want to like, you know, make the police out to look like they're being bad guys or whatnot. So, you know, they might feel different about it now. I mean, a lot of this resurgence has stemmed from what happened with the siege at the Capitol, and apparently they said that there were some people that had the Punisher logo on them, and that's why, you know, that's why we're kind of hearing about it again now. Like, here's the thing. I will say this: it's wild that the conversation is, Marvel, you should retire the Punisher, for some people at least, versus, hey, you all need to like sue them so they can't use the logo, because that I think is the way that it really should go. Just because what you definitely don't want your logo associated with insurrectionists, you know?
Wait, are they going to retire the whole character or just the logo?
Well, Marvel, it hasn't said they're actually going to do anything. There have been calls from some people in like the comic and entertainment community saying like the Punisher is a problematic character. You need to like retire that character altogether, which is ridiculous because it's like,
why is the character problematic?
It's all ridiculous. That's the whole thing. It's like, first of all, it's a fictional character, but even if it was, go ahead, Mo.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say it's a fictional character. Like, you don't mess around and change your fiction because people in real life are doing like crazy stuff. It would be like saying like, oh well, we gotta you know, Peter Pan's canceled because little kids are jumping out of windows, and it's like, I mean,
lock your windows.
Not lock your no. Be a parent.
Yeah, break those kids' legs.
Make sure your kid knows not to jump his ass out of a window. Like, what are you talking about? Like, we don't cancel Peter Pan because kids are jumping out of windows. We're like, why is your kid so dumb that he don't know the difference between reality and fiction?
I mean, if the kid is that dumb, let him go.
Well,
Oz and Jay are always on that baby murder.
But
tip.
It's not murder. It's evolution.
And they also been teaching that kid that a guy came from the dead 3 days after and died for his sins.
You're saying Jesus is Peter Pan? What are you saying?
I'm saying you tell a kid that happens in real life, all of a sudden he's like, you know what, maybe I can fly.
Well, no.
Well, if your kid is dumb enough to think he's Jesus, yeah, maybe murder that kid.
Wait a minute now. Listen. I'm just saying you got to leave the possibility for the baby to actually be Jesus because he's supposed to come back, right? That could happen.
But I thought he was coming back as a man.
I'm like, a baby might be Jesus one day. I don't know. Listen, you act like the Bible's clear. Whatever.
Look, even when Jesus was born, babies were getting killed all around him. So
right, in case they were Jesus.
Yeah. I mean, let's get this thing started. Second coming.
So all I'm saying,
refractory period's over. Let's go.
Bottom line, it's like the Punisher as a character, there's nothing wrong with.
Yeah. It's just a testimony of a wounded, emotionally wounded war veteran that could benefit from the legality of medical marijuana.
but also too, it's like, it's one thing if people are like, oh well, you know, the character is this thing. Like, you know, like if the Punisher was the type of character that might overthrow the government because they were unhappy about, you know, how election results came out, then maybe you can make an argument like, well, why do we need that? But still, it's like, it's fiction. Like, somebody might want to read that, so let them read whatever they want to read, or let them watch whatever they want to watch. But, you know, because like terrible people are trying to reenact stuff in real life, what we should shut down is those people, not the book or comic or movie or television show. Like,
yeah, we should murder those people.
Anyway, I'm not saying
except the ones that make good music.
I'm not trying to murder anyone, just for the record. No,
I mean,
shut down.
it's because you're soft.
Hey, I'll be that. That's okay. If you want to call me soft because I don't want to kill everybody, that's fair. I'll be
Not
that.
everybody, just the people that stormed the Capitol.
But, man, listen, we can just put them in jail.
Look, if they would have won, like they would
We have
have.
to pay for them. Besides, it's like there's so many things that could go wrong with the execution, where it's like we could hurt them and then kill them. Like some of them will just die, but then some of them will be hurt and then die.
You know,
like
as per our YouTube license agreement, we can't advocate violent and hateful talk like this, right?
I don't
you know.
I'm
If wanting the people that stormed our Capitol to die is hateful.
Yeah, you can't say that. You want them to be punished to the fullest extent of the law according to their state, which maybe could include a death penalty.
I mean, well, we'll see.
I mean, we're trying to make a big
user agreements lately.
Yeah, I have to because free speech is dictated by corporations now. So
you're hilarious.
Hey, look, you're right. Keep us on the right track, Mo.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm telling Mo.
That's not true. Free speech is free speech.
Look, I watched enough 80s cyberpunk dystopia to realize that the government will be a corporate entity, and and I'm trying to stop it now.
Hey,
I play Final Fantasy VII.
Look, I'm not surprised that
it was a remake.
I play both.
I'm just playing.
I'm not surprised that Mo is keeping us on the right track on this show. I knew we like our timeline took a left turn when during the whole Capitol stuff that was going on. Alex Jones was there telling people, "What the hell are you doing?"
Yeah.
Alex Jones is the voice of reason.
Right.
Like we somebody took the time stone at some point and didn't bring it back.
Right. No, it's true, man. That's what's real, man. Because Alex Jones wanted you to assassinate the lizard people like just a few years ago.
Well, because the true power comes from making an unknown enemy. Once you can actually go to trial for fighting the enemy, quote unquote, then it's like, oh, you know what? Maybe I'm liable for that. It's like you can incite violence against the Nagas.
Hey, we can't say that word either.
Listen, I need your diction to be 100% on point when you say this, Moses. Nagas.
That's what I said.
Okay, I'm just making sure, man. Just make sure. Enunciate like a mother.
Yeah. We're never gonna monetize.
It'd be funny if I just got cut off. I cut off right after and Guz.
Yeah, but then that sounds like we're editing.
We should beep out every time Mo says Nagas. People are like, whoa, this
we
guy
did that
is
one.
crazy.
Oh wait, I can do that.
Yeah.
There's a delay between the time I hit it and you hear it though, so whatever.
I not much of a delay on my end.
How do you know? You don't know when you push the button.
I saw him when he pushed it.
You saw him move.
Yeah. He was moved. All right, next story.
It looks like they're not gonna do this Green Arrow and the Canaries show on CW.
Oh,
is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I mean, I think it depends on who you ask, but I think as far as Fantastic Forum is concerned, I'm pretty sure. Like, did any of you all want to see that show?
I wanted to see
how quiet it got. Everybody was like,
I wanted to watch it. I thought the backdoor pilot was interesting. I didn't expect it to be a good show.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just not. I don't know, man. It's weird because it's like 30 years after the point where Green Arrow dies, and Black Canary shows up and looks exactly the same. It's weird.
Listen, I promise you, all that's happening here is literally like it's pretty much the same thing that happened. Well, at least in my opinion, what happened to like the X-Men movies. It's like the Arrowverse and the X-Men movies are going through the same thing in the sense that at a particular point in time, you know, the Arrowverse TV shows were good superhero television. And, you know, things started changing as far as like the environment for what superhero entertainment's like. And it started kind of like, you know, I guess maturing in a way, or you know, the tone started to change. And now it's like it doesn't feel like you go back and you look at like, say, the first episodes of Arrow, and they're not terrible, but they're not as good as they were when you watched them the first time.
The peak of Arrow was like season 3 to 6. Like that's when it was like successful, and they're like, you know what? Let's make it a little more like the comics.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when it started feeling like a good, you know, it's Batman that's green with arrows.
Right.
When they started changing the names from Starling to Star. And not like,
and he had Speedy that was a drug addict and all that.
It's I mean, I like the actress that was playing that role. I like Katie Cassidy, who was playing Black Canary. It's just I don't think that show would have done good.
I don't think it's not the show's fault. The show is doing like the DNA of that television show is what it was supposed to be. I think it's the audience that changed, and that's all there is to it. Like I know for me, like you all know me. I mean, I'm a huge X-Men fan. I'm literally wearing a friggin' X-Men shirt right now. Right? I didn't plan this.
Yeah, Professor.
You're wearing a Speed Racer shirt.
Oh, how dare you son of a bitch!
Who had that design first?
Hey, listen, it's Cyclops. It doesn't matter who had it
Cyclops.
first.
That's not Professor X.
What? No, this isn't like Professor X. That's a helmet for Professor X.
Racer X.
What? No, whatever.
Yeah, you're right.
Anyway, what I'm saying is that, you know, but when you go back and I know for me, when I go back and watch the X-Men movies, like, which, you know, I can't even tell you which one is the best X-Men movie of the original type stuff.
Days of Future Past.
Huh?
Days of Future Past.
X-Men 2.
Listen, all I'm saying is that it all feels dated and it all feels like not X-Men. And I'm just like, it's unfortunate because like when it came out, I was happy to see it because that's the best I could get. But now I'm like, oh, like I knew it could be better then, but since the MCU, I know how good it can get in reality. And so it's just like, okay, like I don't even want like the closest thing to an X-Men movie, a decent X-Men movie to me right now is First Class.
So just so I make sure I understand you, what you're saying is X-Men was good, but it could be better.
The original X-Men?
God damn it! Every time he does that, every time he never gets it.
Oz Lord.
Yeah, I sure didn't get it. Sorry.
Yeah, because he's doing the Max Lord thing.
That's like the second time I've done it, and Lawrence just like looks at me like, "Yeah, that's what I'm talking about." Yo, that's exactly what
yeah.
Like I mean, you want me to be like, oh, but it's a thing, but it's not really a thing though.
Yeah, there's all sorts of memes.
It's a bad thing.
Yeah, well, it's a bad movie. Like the best thing to come out about it was those memes.
What you're saying is it's not any good, but it could be better.
Oh, so that's a meme now? I didn't even see those memes.
Yeah, because you're not a real nerd.
Lawrence is an Indian.
Is that why? Because I'm not a real
Doesn't
nerd?
even know who's on his own shirt. Like somebody bought him that shirt. That shirt is scripted. I apologize for my comments earlier. You know what? I can like almost hear 1,000 unsubscribes.
Hey, listen. If you look at this shirt and you don't understand that that's actually Cyclops, then hey, that's okay. I don't want you to watch the show.
It's not even blue.
What are you? I hate you so much right now. Listen, what's the next story? Like the Arrowverse is done.
I started playing Jedi Fallen Order, so now I love Disney.
You're hilarious. Why do you love Disney? Because you played Jedi Fallen Order.
Because it's like if that shit felt like a good Star Wars movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good game, and what's homeboy's name? Monahan.
Yeah.
I wanted him to show up on the Mandalorian instead of face.
Instead of who?
What's his face? Fake face.
Who is fake face?
Luke,
fool. Damn.
Wait, so you wanted the dude
I wanted
Jedi Fallen Order to show
to,
up instead of Luke Skywalker?
yes. Tired of the Skywalkers. We're done with that. Move on.
Oh,
That the whole point of the Mandalorian was we're getting away from the Skywalkers, and now here they are reinfecting themselves right into something I enjoy.
what?
I would have rather taken the homeboy from the animated. What's dude's name? The guy that
Kanan?
disappeared.
Kanan?
No, the guy that disappeared was Thrawn.
Ezra Bridger.
Kanan.
Ezra. I'm thinking Ezra.
Oh,
Anybody but Luke. Anybody but Luke.
Anybody but Luke?
Yeah.
Jeez.
But Monahan would have been great because he's such a good actor.
I mean,
Okay.
that would have been cool too. Like, don't get me wrong, and that would have been a huge boost for that game, I'm sure, because everybody would be like, "Who's that guy?" But at the same time, like, I actually haven't played Jedi Fallen Order. It's one of those games that I'm planning on getting to, but
Fake ass Star Wars fan.
Wait, why? Wait, so I got to play every Star Wars game to be an actual Star Wars fan?
You can't even create your own character in that one.
You don't need to. He's awesome. It turns out your character's a piece of shit because it's not that guy.
Hey, you don't know jack about my Old Republic character.
Yeah,
you don't know him.
Yeah.
You don't know him. How dare you? Like, that's what I'm saying. I'm playing the Old Republic and got like an account and everything and checking out news even when I'm not playing because I don't have a PC that can run it right now. But I'm a fake ass Star Wars fan.
Yeah.
I hate.
Yeah, like
Okay,
if you were a real Star Wars fan, you'd buy a computer. You'd buy a computer that would play it.
I wouldn't even go so far as to say fake Star Wars fan because fake nerd encompasses all of it.
You know.
I haven't forgotten iZombie Gate. Like that's still weighing on my mind. Like I'm looking at you sideways now.
Listen, when you said it the first time, I was like, "What is iZombie Gate?" I was like, "What happened to iZombie?" I was like, "Listen, I was here
iZombie."
No, I don't know why it is that we're just gonna like. There are no receipts to that allegation. That's all I'm saying. It's that simple. Like, it's not hard to pull up. Like, the show was recorded. It was literally a podcast. Also,
it's enough for impeachment.
I guess that's true. Listen, I guess that's true. I'm just saying, like, all you gotta do is play the tape of me saying, "Oh yeah, the show was first, and then they made a comic."
Yeah, but you're in charge of the tape.
But I'm not in charge of no tapes.
Yeah, those tapes disappeared, and we found out.
Oh, okay. So I'm covered.
There's only two people that would have had access. One of them one of them spilled the beans, and the other one denies it. So we're gonna find tapes.
I love
the
it.
cover-up is worse than the crime, Lawrence.
I love how at first it was just me saying something crazy about comics versus television shows, and now it's morphed into me the cover up. It's like I'm gonna follow my president's example. No collusion.
The revelation came out from a Stone collaborator that spoke too much on air, and after further investigation, the tapes suddenly disappear, and it's it's all very suspicious, very circumstanced.
I feel like that
Stone collaborator.
I feel like that individual was projecting. That's what they thought and tried to put it on me, because Lord knows that I didn't say such a thing, and I'll leave it at that.
Okay.
What's
we're gonna start
chat real quick. Says bringing it back to topic. Sorry, bringing it back to topic. Tiger Claw says, "What do you guys think of Lucasfilm bringing back Lucasfilm games?" I don't give a shit. There's good games beyond that now with Jedi Fallen Order. So who cares?
Well, but listen. Now you say that, but that's like the I won't say it's the first, but I'll say that is like EA finally making a decent game in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? Like don't get me wrong. Like you all know that they did the Battlefront stuff, and those aren't terrible games, but some of the practices that they did for that, of course, marred the game, and eventually they became good games. I guess I didn't actually play them because
didn't they do Force Unleashed?
No, that wasn't EA, was it?
Not EA, but Lucas.
No, that was
Lucasfilm.
Lucasfilm Games. Yeah, Lucas Games.
It's because I see that comment about Lucasfilm bringing back Lucasfilm games, and I was thinking, when did they stop?
Well, look, if I can get a mobile version of Shadow of the Empire, I'm in.
You want to play that on mobile?
Why not? I play Knights of the Old Republic on mobile.
I hear that that's actually really good.
It is.
But I don't want to play that on mobile.
Look, I didn't get to play it on console.
Oh.
So I only played a little bit of 1 and 2, like just the beginning, like 40 hours. But I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna pick that. I mean, if they made a Switch one, I'd do it because
that's what I was
better.
thinking.
But they didn't do that. They gave me a Burnout Paradise.
Burnout? Burnout Paradise. I'm sorry.
Yeah, for $60 on Switch. So,
jeez, really?
Yeah, it was cheaper on the PS2. Yeah.
Yeah, that should not be $60. That's crazy.
Yeah. Well, they dropped it down to $50.
And it should not be $50.
Yeah, it should be $24.99.
Right.
I accidentally kicked the empty Magnum bottle, and I'm glad it's plastic.
That's why. That's part of the reason
I'm not wearing shoes, so that could be
when we discussed
lives in the Midwest.
When we discussed so here's the thing. Part of when we were doing the branding and we discussed it, we chose plastic because it gets heavy. Like you start feeling it a third of the way down, and then it starts condensating. And then it slips out of your hand because it's heavy. But also the implications, because when you have, Magnum in your hand, you feel like you got Thor's hammer, like you want to smash. And it's like that bottle, a glass bottle like that, onto the head is considered attempted manslaughter.
Like, I just love the idea of thinking of like drunk hicks somewhere, like drinking Magnums and trying to like hurt their friends and hitting each other over the head with those bottles.
Well, it's not. It's also we have a very like hobo demographic, so they have to defend their territories, and we don't want them to catch a case on our behalf.
Oh, got you. They're like, you buy Schlitz malt liquor for that.
Yeah, something else. Yeah,
every version of Schlitz is made in a glass. So,
I think Schlitz went plastic too for a while.
Oh, there it is. Damn. I tell you.
Because it's all those Milwaukee and Wisconsin, all those beers from the Midwest went plastic on their 40s for like a good 2 years. But the sales probably went back to glass.
What's our next news story?
Our next news story is that She-Hulk is rumored to. The She-Hulk TV show is rumored to feature Kristen Ritter's return as Jessica Jones.
Yeah. So, how do y'all feel about that?
I mean, I don't like. I mean, it's cool that they're bringing that Jessica Jones back, but it like why bother with She-Hulk? Because like the friendship that they have, that dynamic, like was already explored in her show, and they just used Hellcat instead.
I don't like that. It makes me feel like they're pushing Daredevil to the side because I have a feeling she's going to be Jessica Jones's new lawyer, and that's how they're going to introduce the character.
Well, but then there's been a rumor for a minute now that Charlie Cox is supposed to be Peter Parker's lawyer in the next Spider-Man movie.
Yeah, so, but that might. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think there's room for Charlie Cox in that movie.
Why not?
There's too many people.
Yeah, it's a sausage.
Like everybody's confirmed to be in that movie. I think Joe's in that movie. He's got a cameo.
Yeah.
Jay, can you confirm or deny that you're in Spider-Man 3?
I cannot.
Damn, it could be so, Oz. You're right. You're right.
I know the scene is Jamie Foxx is there, and Joe just walks by and is like, "Man, you crazy," and then just walks away.
Look, Jay just looks at Jamie Foxx's Electro and is like, trash. But see, here's the thing for me though. Like, I mean, I get what you're saying, Mo, about the friend dynamic in regards to like her and Hellcat, but why would her relationship with Hellcat, or I guess the better way for me to ask the question is, why would her relationship with She-Hulk be similar to the one she has with Hellcat?
I'm still thinking from my like, it's not like a comics thing. So but realistically, realistically, they could just leave Kristen Ritter the fuck out. Like, she don't need to get paid.
Well, but I guess why not? Like, and don't get me
But
wrong.
why? Like, why or why not? There really isn't a good argument for why or why not, other than like fan service. So it's like people are going to see She-Hulk and like it whether Kristen Ritter is in or not.
Well, I guess my thing is this: is if the rights to the characters and doing them in mass media have reverted, and they want to have a Jessica Jones character, I would prefer it to be Kristen Ritter at this point, because that's who was already introduced in the MCU technically.
I guess. I mean,
in the same way that I would want Charlie Cox, and I would want oh damn, I can't remember my man that's friggin' Luke Cage, or friggin'
he's not coming back. It doesn't matter.
Well, I mean, they said that he's not going to come back because it sounds like they want to have like a higher profile actor play that role. But I think that would be a mistake. I think they should just use him.
He was good for the character. The series was good, and but if they're not going to do a series and they're just going to do a cameo, then they would probably want to get a higher profile just to get like maybe springboard off to something else, But it doesn't look, Disney series for those characters aren't going to be as good as the Netflix ones. I'll tell you that. They're going to play that shit safe.
So you feel like if Disney decided to make a Daredevil series with Charlie Cox, you don't think it will be as good as the Netflix one?
Nah. And I was even critical about that one, but
I would disagree with you. I don't think.
I mean, of course you would. You would definitely disagree with me.
Oh boy!
By the way, your boy's name is Mike Coulter.
Mike Coulter, there it is. Thank you.
I'm as much as I like Kristen Ritter. I thought she did a decent job. But why haven't I heard anything about Mark Ruffalo being on the set, like at all? Isn't he involved in that story of how She-Hulk becomes She-Hulk?
Yeah,
do that off camera altogether.
No, I mean, I feel like there were rumors about it from before too, like that Mark Ruffalo actually was involved.
I think those were rumors. I think those were, the fake nerds talking about, well, where her powers come from. So Mark Ruffalo has to be there. Smart Hulk has to show up and put his cock on it.
Put his cock on it.
I was gonna say in her, but they're related, so it would be
either
weird.
way,
I edited it myself. Leave me alone.
I'm just saying, it's needlessly crass.
It's needfully crass.
No. Jay, you look at something to say.
Who, me?
Yeah.
No, I don't have anything to say.
Okay,
I mean,
Jay's like, I don't care who
confirmed.
any of these people are.
Like, they confirmed that Mark Ruffalo was going to be in it.
No, there you go.
I mean, he has to be, right?
Not necessarily.
He doesn't have to be, but
Even though they won't give the dude his own Hulk movie
Because they confirmed.
Well, they can't. Yeah,
it's
they
not
can't.
about have to anymore. Like, it's what's happening.
Right. No, they can't. I'm telling you, if they could do a Hulk television show, they would. But they can't, and that's why you only see Hulk as part of other stuff, because
I think that's an excuse. I think they can. They don't want to.
No, they can't.
The rights.
Because,
Universal literally has the rights.
yeah.
No, that's just an excuse. I think they're using that as an excuse. It's a good excuse. I mean, it makes sense, but no, I
Like
don't believe it.
legally they can't that's not an excuse, right? That's like the
Look,
reason.
we all know when you got Disney money, legally ain't a word. Like legally,
No,
it's just how many zeros you put at the end of the check.
Well, I mean, okay, I feel you on that, but at the same time, you can't be mad at them for being like, well, like, because I'm sure the rights revert back at some point, right?
No, not if they keep doing stuff with them.
But they haven't. Universal.
No, but Marvel has. So they keep like that counts as Universal. Like it's in conjunction.
Oh,
You
Yeah,
think the
so
show's
that
gonna
counts.
be any good?
It's like the Sony and Spider-Man thing.
so you think you're asking? Do I think that the She-Hulk show will be good?
Yeah. Well, I'm asking everybody. Actually, I'm not a huge She-Hulk fan, so I need to defer to you guys on that.
I think it's gonna be excellent. Actually, yeah.
Well, of course.
Well, you're always wrong anyway. Really, just
Am
asking
I?
you.
When was the last time
Yeah.
Exactly. See how quiet it got? Everyone was like, God damn.
We're listening to Renat. You don't talk over the mouse. You
Wait,
just don't.
didn't the rights revert back this year? Earlier
So-
for Hulk and
No.
Namor.
No,
No, I think that was
I think
Ghost Rider.
Namor.
Namor.
I think Namor, but that was part of the X-Men deal, right? The mutant.
Yeah, I think it was. Right. Well, no. It wasn't Ghost Rider. It was Namor and damn it, can't remember.
Namor. That's another
So I
guy.
have the story on. This isn't a reputable site, but
yeah.
Because Namor was part of the whole Fox thing. Because Namor was associated with Fantastic Four. I'm pretty sure.
Or mutants.
Nah, not mutants. Because when
according to the disreputable site, Marvel does have the rights.
well,
To the Hulk?
Yeah, Hulk and Namor.
What's the disreputable site you're reading it from?
The Disinsider.
Yeah, that no, they don't have it.
I don't think they're an insider.
I was. Wait, it's not the Disney Insider. It's the Disinsider.
Yeah.
Yeah.
DIS insider.
Jeez, man.
It is short for Disney.
Their joint sounds like a disease. I got Disinsider.
Sounds like it came out of Wuhan.
Oh, see.
What's the next story, Lou? What else you got?
Dude, let's talk about Jay. I know you had that story about the beginnings of a new shared image universe. New image
I
comic
did.
universe.
I
I would
thought
love
you
to
were
talk
going to read it, but
about
so I did not have it pulled up.
that is absolutely fair. But there basically the story was about them launching a new book, and the book being a part of what is rumored to be a new shared comic book universe under the Image Comics banner. And they were saying like, well, it's obvious they're gonna include the Savage Dragon in that, which makes sense to me. Like, I think that Eric Larson wouldn't pass on the idea. Like he's generous with his characters like that. But the idea that is something that could happen, I know I found that really interesting. It's one of these things where just to see what it would be like. I will say this, like, I don't know, like, if I want, like, say, a Spawn to be a part of that or something like that, because I think at this point it feels like Spawn's like so much its own thing. But at the same time, I don't read Spawn like I'm not a dude that reads Spawn month in and month out, so maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. So I don't want to put words in Todd McFarlane's mouth, but I kind of feel like That's kind of its own thing at this point. But Savage Dragon, which is its own thing too, but I could see them saying like, well, let's build this new universe with or keeping Savage Dragon in mind, just because, you know, I just feel like Savage Dragon feels like the Image comic superhero to me.
So who's writing? Who's like spearheading this? Like what is it?
So it's Kyle Higgins, the guy who was doing Power Rangers over at Boom.
We
Starting
interviewed on our channel too. You can
Yeah. That's when he was doing
link
Nightwing,
right here.
right?
Yeah.
and he's going to be writing a book called Radiant Black. And we have a Jesus.
We have
Have a look at the cover.
Say what?
Hold on, I'm going to bring up the cover.
Oh, okay. I was like, what's happening, Jay? Who has you? Tell them that we possess a special set of skills.
Blink twice if you need our help. How many edibles did you have today, Joe?
Just one. I'm about to take another one.
There it is.
Maybe. I don't know. I kind of want to go to sleep tonight, too, after the show, so we'll see.
If you have an edible, you won't be able to go to sleep.
I will, but it'll be awkward. Because it's like, I won't know what I feel like doing while I'm waiting to go to sleep.
Wait, what? You won't know what you feel like doing while you're waiting to fall asleep?
Right. It's like, I won't know if I like want to watch a movie or watch like cartoons or play Final Fantasy. And it'll take me a while to figure it out.
It turns out with the edible, he'll just go to sleep without thinking about any of that.
No, I always think it because sleep never comes like right away.
Yeah.
And so it's like, I'm not sure what I would want to do. Like, I started watching Camp again, and that's really fun high. But I don't know.
But so you play a video game to fall asleep?
No, before I fall asleep. But when I'm high, I'll be thinking like of ways to entertain myself. And so I'll end up trying to play a video game while I'm high, which, depending on how high I am, goes poorly or it goes okay.
Should watch
I think
some-
Joe's getting high wrong.
Joe should watch something scary while high and then tape it. And we'll all react.
I could try that. I feel like I did, though. I feel like I watched that one Indian Gold movie when I was high. But I don't remember if I wasn't.
Or even better, like something like super dramatic and emotional. And so it's just Jay like commentating on why something is stupid, while most people watching it are like crying their eyes out.
Oh yeah, like, horror is
While you're high is pretty good.
like horror when it's done poorly, or when it's done like average can be like pretty funny. But it's when it's good when you're like, oh man.
I was still waiting for more in the Lawrence Watches series.
Yeah, he's
got-
not doing it.
You know, it's like we're trying to get him to watch stuff, but he just won't.
He won't. I gave him stuff to unbox so he would have something to do, and I don't think he's even opened them yet.
Listen, I don't like how you all are talking about me like I'm not here. Like I just need y'all like I'm right here.
Larry,
Say my
excuse
name
me.
right now.
Larry, excuse me. Please allow us to talk behind your back to your face, please.
No, I mean, listen, you can talk. I'm not saying you can't say what you're saying. I'm saying just talk about me like I'm here. Be like, just say my name. I'm here. I can hear you. Like, God damn.
No.
No.
So anyway,
It's better
guys,
this way.
Talk about he.
He.
You mean me? Goddamn. just say my name. That's all I'm saying. Like I'm not saying don't talk about me. I'm saying if you're gonna talk about me while I'm right here, say my name.
but then if we say your name enough times, you show up. So
I'm already here. Goddamn. That's what the point is. I'm here.
So who wants to take bets? Who wants to take bets to see if Larry opened? Who wants to take bets to see if Larry opened his blind bag of Mega Man chibi figures.
Which he's not supposed to if it's not on camera.
Well, here's the bet. Did he open them and not record it? Like, who wants to take that bet? I'm betting that's what happened.
I'm willing to bet he didn't even know he had it. It's at the corner.
No, he didn't even have it. Well, look, that might be the wild card bet. Like, it could be in his car still.
I'm so.
Wait, not in his neighborhood.
Whoa, wait. You know what? Listen, again, I'm gonna say this one more time. Talk about me like I'm here, goddamn. Not in his neighborhood. Wait, first of all, you go disrespect the crime rate on my street. I guarantee you is lower than the crime rate in probably all of y'all streets. Okay.
Yeah, you're right. I have a scanner alert.
But on top of all that, talk about me like I'm here.
All right, Larry, I'm gonna ask the question.
Ask the question.
But hold on. I would need you to wait about 10 seconds before you answer. But I'm gonna ask the question. Did you open your birthday Mega Man blind bags? Did you open your Mega Man blind bag?
Wait, so I'm supposed to answer and then you're gonna play the rim shot? I'm supposed to hear the rim shot and then I answer, right?
All right.
A long rim shot.
Yeah.
Am I retarded? Like, what is happening?
That's a different conversation.
Did you or did you not open your blind bags?
Before I answer that, I want you all to know I hate all this. I did not open the blind bags as of yet, but they are not in the car. They are inside the house, and I did think about the idea, like, oh, I should probably open this on camera because that would be fun.
Also, the point.
Also, the point. Okay, and the point. Sure. Okay.
I said it on the air. Like, I got you these so that you can open them on camera. We can make
right. And I haven't done it yet, but you know.
You thought they were for your birthday. Turns out they're content.
That's what I thought. I thought
everything is content.
Them until you.
Even despite this entire segment, I still think Moses and Jay and even you, Oz. I think you all still love me.
I mean, we do, but it's like family. Like family. Like you're a piece of shit, but you're our piece of shit.
No, but I'm not.
No, I've been watching tons of horror movies, trying to figure out which ones will be good enough for you.
You should listen.
I gave up on that.
What I appreciate.
No,
because that makes a lot of sense. Because like Jay will be
good
like
story, good endings,
right?
Like stuff to make Lawrence think,
right? But not too hard, because if I have to think too hard, then my life's over. Because I'm thinking about scary stuff all the time, and
that's the thing. It's not like we're thinking about making good content. Like good content is to make Larry squirm. Like we don't want to make him think. We want to make him shit his fucking self on camera.
You remember the last one I got, like a really good one, which was the one with the curse,
right?
And they had the little post-credit ending that really fucked with Lawrence.
Yeah,
like where he had to think, but he also squirmed.
Yeah.
And he was like still on the show, just dazed, like wondering if it was real or not. That was fun.
Like, all right, we're gonna do the reviews. We don't got no more news, right? I mean, we got. I mean, you want to do a shit we didn't get to segment?
Yeah, sure. Let's talk about what we didn't get to. We didn't get to the MCU updates from Feige on Deadpool and Black Panther and X-Men, which it's okay. They're coming.
I mean, Deadpool said that he commented on social media. He's like, first thing on the docket is find whoever killed Bambi's mom.
Is what?
Is find whoever killed Bambi's mom.
It was Gaston.
I mean, We don't know that. That's a fan theory, and Deadpool's gonna get to the bottom of it. All right. Next shit we didn't get to later.
Matt Bomer is gonna play Flash in Justice Society World War II animated, like the next DC animated movie.
And why is that a big deal?
Well, I think more so the fact that it was a Justice Society animated movie. Like I know I didn't know that. I don't know if you all knew that was happening.
Well, no, I didn't know it either. But I thought they were making a gay Flash.
Is Matt Bomer gay?
That's future.
Well, the story that you sent to me from the Gay Times. I'm sorry, Gay Times.
Oh,
yeah.
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah.
Like, okay, there it is.
I thought there was a different movie coming out.
I mean,
I don't remember.
The latest DC movie was the or animated flick was the Batman one with the kung fu, right?
Right. Is that out already?
I think it just came out. I don't know when though.
Okay.
Yeah. Y'all know what I'm talking about?
Hexzilla in chat says content.
Batman Soul of the Dragon.
Yeah. You Oz and Mo, you familiar with that?
I have never heard of that in my life.
That actually has Bruce Lee in it, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, I have no
I
idea.
feel like it's Batman with like real life martial artists, but I could be wrong.
I was under the impression Bruce Lee was dead.
My guy, talk about anime. Okay, never mind. You know what? No, Oz, when you tell stories about me, you don't have to say my name even if I'm here. It's okay. It's okay.
And no, Bruce Lee's not in it.
Oh, damn it. Who is it? It doesn't matter.
Oh, because they're all the same to you? Got it.
Yeah.
Next story we didn't do.
That's what it is. Yes, it's all the same.
It's Herman Lee.
No, jeez. Another story we didn't get to, the Mandalorian spin-off shows, along with the Mandalorian. They're thinking that they might, or I guess there's a rumor that there might be a crossover between those shows that is adapting damn it, what's the name of that Heir to the Empire novels, basically the Star Wars novels that introduced Thrawn to the Star Wars universe. Like basically that first novel that had him in it, they're doing an adaptation of that storyline in like Mandalorian and Rangers and Ahsoka.
I hate it.
So you hate it? Okay, there it is.
Everything after Mandalorian is gonna be crappy.
Say what?
Yeah. I don't know why Filoni can't come up with new stuff. He's got to go back to old stuff.
Wait, what? Wait, Jay, what did you say?
Is he gonna look okay in live action?
I mean, if
I don't think I've seen a Chiefs in live action yet.
I don't think it's happened. I mean,
It'll be like Starfire.
No.
Like he'll be black?
Yeah.
Black with a terrible wig?
No, it's not gonna be like Starfire. They'll pick a white guy and they'll either make his skin blue digitally or they'll do makeup from his neck up and his hands. Either or, it'll probably look fine.
That's the worst thing to do is try to CGI blue when you have makeup. Makeup is available and cheaper.
And blue makeup actually looks better real than any other makeup for some reason.
I mean, listen,
most things look better as a practical effect than CGI.
It's just a matter of who they pick and what they're willing to do. You know what I'm saying?
I heard Cumberbatch's name thrown around.
Yeah, I've heard Cumberbatch.
I think he's above their price, but you know it's.
But he's already part of the Disney thing. He sold his soul to the mouse.
I don't know about all that, but I've heard that thrown around. I've heard also, from Mad Men.
Oh boy, Ham?
Yeah.
Nah,
he's no good.
Nah.
Paul Bettany, The Vision. He would be good.
John Hamm is no good.
Not for that.
You don't think so? I thought
No.
As good of a pick as anybody else, but
I don't know who Thrawn is, so it doesn't matter.
Oh well. Paul Bettany, he could do it, but I don't think I would want to see him as Thrawn. But anyway.
Well, you're the shareholder, so you tell us who's gonna be.
Yeah, and
then would do good. Fucking Perry Mason, he would do good.
Perry Mason.
The guy that played Perry Mason.
Perry Mason, but
the current Perry Mason guy.
I like to see.
He's good.
I forget his name, but he was Doctor Who for a while, and then he was the Purple Man. Tennant.
Tennant.
David Tennant. David Tennant would actually be. I heard his name was tossed around too. Yeah, I think he would be good.
So we're all in agreement. Someone British.
Are all the people we talked about British?
Yeah.
Tennant,
Except for
Cumberbatch.
John Hamm. The one we didn't like was the American one. So.
Oh, I like John Hamm.
I mean, I like John Hamm, just not for that.
His head is pretty big, but Thrawn has a big head too.
Back to the Magnum talk.
All right.
Is there any more shit we didn't get to?
No, that's it. We should go ahead and jump into a heavy metal minute.
Yeah. So it's been a crazy week for metal. 2 weeks back, I did a review of the Schaefer Barlow project, Winter Nights. And 8 days later, John Schaefer of the Schaefer Barlow project stormed the Capitol. Full details there if you want to check them out there on Fraction of Forever on our channel. You got to like and subscribe, and it's on there. It should be on there now. I actually uploaded it earlier this week. But there's some new developments in that case. Since he was spotted and confirmed to be him, he is now the top priority, most wanted for the FBI and local law enforcement in Indiana and DC. And they're looking for him. They haven't found him. It's nuts. Stu Block redid another statement. I talked about the statement on Fraction of Forever that he did. He did another one apologizing for not being more serious about it, which is weird. Like, he's not... John Schaefer is not Stu Block's responsibility. That's ridiculous. But in other right-wing wacko news, Phil Labonte is petitioning Governor Sununu of New Hampshire. He wrote him a letter, and he's asking to really dismantle the U.S. That's a quote. As a voter, he says he's entitled to ask for that of his governor because he doesn't like the censorship that President Trump is getting on social media platforms. Now, look, I don't like it either, but it is what it is. A private company. Look, there's opinions on that. That's a whole political, philosophical discussion that we are not going to get into right here. But that was what happened with Phil Labonte, and he's no stranger to this little libertarian controversy and speech that he does a lot. So more about him. And more right-wing wacko news. Bad Wolves. Tommy Vext, we talked about him having issues. He doesn't believe in racism, being a black man in America. He says he's never dealt with racism. That was a big controversial statement of 2020 that he had. And he doesn't believe, he's a right-winger and truther and birther and all that. And now Tommy Vext has been kicked out of Bad Wolves. I always talked about what it would be like for Doc Coyle to deal with someone like Tommy Vext, and it happened. It turned out they can't work together. Now that they could leave the house and make music together, they're not going to make music. Doc Coyle kicked off a live stream. He said the outpouring of just beautiful words and just loving embraces from everyone supporting what's going on in the band. It's been moving, and I feel just so much gratitude. This is obviously difficult because there are people who feel the exact opposite, who maybe are not happy with how things have turned out, and there's much that can hurt on a personal level. when someone is not really on board with what you're doing, I totally get it and I understand it. It's not easy. It's not an easy thing to lose someone who was that talented. So yeah, he's officially out, and that was the announcement. But yeah, those two dudes, there's Metal experiencing some growing pains when these things come to light now that these people think differently, and they make so much beautiful music together. Now they can't. It's weird. They got to learn from Joey and Johnny Ramone. They hated each other, and they somehow made it work. And there's a new music alert. Sozin's Comet released yesterday, January 12th. They released the song Four Nations, and they're a Avatar The Last Airbender themed metal band. So you're listening to that under me right now. So enjoy that. If you like it, go to Sozin's Comet on YouTube. That's where they released it. You can give it the likes, the subscribes, and hit the bells, and all that jazz. And lastly, Marsha Zazula. If you don't know that name, you're probably young, but she was a co-founder of Megaforce Records. She passed away at the age of 68. Megaforce is famous for bringing to light bands like Metallica, Testament, I believe Exodus, Merciful Fate, and Megaforce really shaped the thrash scene in the 80s. That was like what led to bands like Slayer and metal as we know it now. So James Hetfield had some kind words. He said, Marsha Z is the metal matriarch of the East Coast. She was our mother when I had none. She made great sacrifices for Metallica to grow. Thank you, Marsha. Love and positive energy to the Zazula family. So that's just one person she touched, but there's a lot more. I saw a lot of tributes, but I'm not going to get into that because guess what? I'm Moses Magnum. This has been a Heavy Metal Minute. Thank you, man. Thank you. But I do have a duodenum to that Heavy Metal Minute.
Oh, go for
it. 8 days after John Schaefer stormed the Capitol building, I got this in the mail. The CD, Schaefer Barlow Project, that I backed on Kickstarter with my thank you name on it. In here, you can't make it out, but it's there. And yeah, you still can't make it out. It's really small. It's small even for me, and I have good eyesight. So, but I have his signature on here. I don't know if you can make it out here. It's there.
That's awesome. It came with a MAGA hat and everything, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. And, so I got it. Yeah, I forgot that I even got the physical copy. I thought I just did the digital, but yeah, like, well, the post date says that he couldn't have been at the Capitol because it was mailed on the same day that he was going to the Capitol. Unfortunately, it was mailed to Florida, and it was mailed
by Mo.
Yeah, and it was mailed by Ravencroft Productions, not John Schaefer. So
here's an alibi. He was like, Moses, come to the court.
Yeah.
Tell him I was with you.
Yeah.
Listen, I love the cover photo, dude. I was like, oh, dude, like, I gotta go watch that video as soon as Fantastic Forum's over.
Is that up yet?
Yeah, it's up. It comes on. I've kind of scheduled Fraction of Forever to come on about an hour or so or two before Fantastic Forum, because the way I kind of restructured it, my Heavy Metal Minutes kind of play off of that. They're like an abbreviated version of that or stuff I didn't get to there.
Nice.
But yeah, it's weird. That whole thing with John Schaefer is weird, and I actually posed a question for you guys on Fraction of Forever to see if you guys watch it, but I'm pretty sure you don't. So I'll ask it now. It's like, should we get rid of our final thought music? Because that's Ice Third final thought music of John Schaefer, the alt-right treasonous.
I don't think so.
All right.
Only if there's a chance that they'll copyright strike us.
No, there isn't. I mean, he loses all his rights and assets. Like, his assets get frozen, so he has no rights to that anymore.
Listen, if you can't separate the person from the art, you're gonna lose all your art.
Well, I know I've always been the best at that out of the whole Fantastic Forum. I've always been really good about separating the artist from the art.
I mean, I like the old Cosby Show.
Like I said that facetiously because I know I've never been good at that. So
No, I was like, I
wasn't
gonna say nothing. I was quiet. I was like, oh, okay.
Those thumbnails got a lot better when my wife looked at my laptop and told me everything I did wrong.
Oh, what did you do wrong?
I was working on one that Lawrence did with the guy from the 501st Legion, and like I had everything I wanted on the screen, but I couldn't I just didn't know what to do. And she walked by and she's like, "Oh, what are you doing?" "Oh, well, I'm trying to do this." And she just like kind of takes over. And like 2 minutes later, she like this thing is done. She's like, "Just do it like this." And everything I've done since then is exactly how she told me, and it's quicker. And if you notice, they've looked better.
Yeah, that 501st Legion. I was like, okay, Oz finally got it. Like he did something. It turns out
I finally had a professional tell me how I was screwing up.
Yeah,
it's so funny too because my people are like, they're like, dude, that's awesome. Like they love that joint. But anyway, go ahead, Jay. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was saying, if we did replace our final thought music, it would be kind of cool. Like if I could do it, so I'd have the opening and final thought joint.
Oh well, listen. I'm amending my statement. If Jay makes final thought music that we feel like we should use, we should definitely replace it with Jay's final thought music.
I would agree. If we get an original Jay, I would rather have that. Not because of anything John Schaefer did specifically, just because I would rather have something original to us.
Yeah.
For me, it's more about the vibe at the closing of the show. So it's got to have the vibe, like that ending on the. For me, the reason I picked that song is because what the song is in relation to the show, and how it ends on a high note, but at an end, like it's a conclusion. The frequency is right, like the actual frequency of the music is right, and I don't know if any of us here can recreate that. But if you're willing to try, I'm willing to listen.
Jay's open.
Okay. I will consider it.
There it is. Cool. So let's talk about some comic books. Let's talk about DC Future State. We're going to be talking about
comic book
review.
Comic book
Like review.
Well, not like that, but like.
Thank you for that. I appreciate it. I'm sorry I was forgetting our reviews.
Yeah.
I like that. I feel like
fake ass host.
That's look, fake ass nerd, fake ass host, fake ass speed racer fan, all that.
I don't even think he's black.
Look, fake ass black. Turns out he's Latino. Son of a
that's the title of this episode.
guy.
That's the title of this episode. Fake ass black.
Allow me to apologize to Jay in advance because I think they're talking about him. It's not Jay. It's not Jay.
Jay, what did you say?
I said it was great that we got a speed racer reference in these comics.
Yeah, I like that we got a speed racer like representation from Larry.
So which one are we talking first?
So we're going to talk about Superman of Metropolis. We're going to talk about the next Batman, and we're going to talk about Wonder Woman. I think we should talk about them in that order. How do you all feel about it?
I'm down.
Works for me.
Whatever.
Listen. You know what? How do you all feel about you know what? I'll go ahead and talk about or at least lay down the whole thing for the Superman of Metropolis.
Go for it.
So Superman of Metropolis #1 is DC Future State, like one of the first books to come out of there. This is, the whole Future State is basically about the next generation of heroes taking over some of these mantles. And so this is John Kent, Superman's son, the same John Kent. If you were reading Superman, where Superboy and Super Sons, or the Superboy that was in, what book was he in? He was in Action.
He was in Super Sons, and it was John Kent and Damian Wayne.
Right. And he was also in, I think Action Comics was the one that was pretty much
he was featured heavily in Legion of Superheroes because
right.
they did the whole Superboy in the Future thing with him.
Right. But I'm saying one of the Superman books was primarily about like Superman and his family. That was Action, right? That wasn't Superman.
I believe that was Action, yeah.
Yeah, I think, but at the same time though, after Bendis took over Superman, I think you saw a lot of John Kent and Superman too. I think, but I might be wrong about that. But either way, that character is the Superman in this book. And from what I can ascertain, coming out of DC's death metal, the multiverse is reborn, and these books are possible multiversal things that are happening. And so you have John Kent as Superman in Metropolis in the future, basically guarding this city on his own. But Metropolis has fallen into a strange state. It's not the kind of utopian type city that it was back in the day. You have a corporate technologist that has come in by the name of Trojan. His last name is Trojan. Lot of condom talk on this show, but Trojan is basically giving the citizens technology and like nanotechnology that's that they're able to incorporate into their bodies. And so they make mention that Trojan has pushed out Lex Luthor and exiled Lex Luthor, and LexCorp is not really a factor. And so Trojan is kind of like the corporate entity that Metropolis identifies with. And he, along with, or in addition to the people that have incorporated this nanotechnology into themselves, has garnered a certain number of acolytes, followers that are following him. And so and those people basically have made Metropolis a sort of I can't remember what's the term. What was the term that happened in Seattle where they made it like an autonomous zone?
Yeah,
autonomous. Basically, these folks have made Metropolis its own autonomous zone, and that has caused the army basically to come and kind of be like, hey, you all aren't not a part of the US. You all are actually still a part, even though you say you're not. And there's a bit of a standoff, and the Superman of Metropolis, John Kent, is there to try to navigate this situation, and is doing kind of a poor job of it. So it's an interesting concept for a book, because the way they make it sound and the way they kind of lay it out in this book is John Kent is this is kind of one of his first missions where he's kind of doing things on his own. And you're looking at this picture right now where you see this gaping hole. this is a point where John Kent has decided the best way, not the easiest, the best way to secure Metropolis is to remove it from its spot on the planet.
He candorized it.
And yeah, basically make it its own miniaturized glassed city like Kandor. Like it's, and like apparently he was doing some stuff with Supergirl, and they were like kind of like, I guess she was mentoring him some, and he's kind of been doing some stuff on his own because she went off, and I don't know what she was doing exactly because they don't say, but he has some ideas about how the best way to handle things in Metropolis. Earlier, you saw a photo of a kind of nanotech-ish, kind of mega mind-ish looking kind of thing, and that's called the brain cells, and that's
it's essentially a new version of Brainiac.
Right. It is literally something that was grown by a corporation based off of the DNA of Brainiac that they were able to recover from battles between Brainiac and John Kent, Superman, and Supergirl. Which that's another thing that's kind of wild to me, that Supergirl is Supergirl still, even though she's way older. Well, not way older, but older than John Kent. You know what I mean? And it's like she's still Supergirl, but he's Superman now.
Well, Larry, from my experience, when you change, one time I called this lady a girl, and I'm like, I'm sorry, woman. And she said, no, call me girl. I don't want to be a woman. Yeah.
Yeah. That actually happened in the Supergirl TV show, right? They had like that whole.
I don't know. I've never been there.
Yeah, I did.
It did.
Yeah. So
Also, John Kent's been artificially aged.
Now, when you say artificially,
something happened that made him older, like made him go from kid to teen, and then he also spent some time in the future with the Legion. So just because he's older or a young adult at this point doesn't necessarily mean a lot of time has passed.
But
no, it's more about her age than.
Okay. I'm not even talking about ages at this point, honestly, as much as titles. Yeah, like I would just say, like at some point you might be like, well, hey, maybe she might be like, I don't need to be Supergirl anymore. I'll be Superwoman. But you might be right. Like you all just mentioned, it's like if you're older and people are willing to call you girl still, then you just go with it, right? And it's not like she's like actually aging, like she's a Kryptonian. Like, Supergirl doesn't look any different than she did however many years ago or whatever. But in future state here, they make a point of talking about it like it is like further in the future, and then you have like nanotechnology being passed out or handed out to the average citizens of Metropolis. Like that all makes it feel like it is actually further in the future. But you could be right, Oz. I mean, we don't know where it is. They don't take the time to tell you like, oh, it's this year or not this year, right?
Well, they don't suggest Kal-El Superman died of old age. That didn't happen.
No, he doesn't. They say he went somewhere. Like they make it seem like he just went away, they don't say this, but I'm assuming he must have taken Lois with him because it almost feels like a little bit like Invincible, if you read that title, but in Invincible at a certain.
I didn't read it yet. No spoilers.
Do you have the press copies?
I actually bought the omnibus like
okay,
a couple months ago.
Well, you should read it, especially before this animated show comes out, because it's
that was one of my inspirations. And it's like Jeffrey always told me like you should definitely read it,
dude.
Like he said it was such
not just Jeffrey.
Who else told me that?
Mo wants his credit.
We did.
Yeah, we
even Vaughn did.
Dude, we
Vaughn was like,
I don't listen to Vaughn.
Yeah, but the thing is, us combined, like Vaughn was like, I got them all on digital. You can have it right now. Yeah.
Look, shout out to Redmond. I miss that guy. God
Like,
damn.
well, we don't need them. We got me. Like, you don't want them. You don't want them. Yeah.
You don't want them. You don't want them. But the fact is, yeah, like Invincible, like literally put on the cover the greatest superhero comic. Well, I forget what it started off as. Was it the greatest superhero comic in the galaxy? Or I don't remember what it is, but basically, like it said that it was the greatest superhero comic like ever, basically, and damn near lived up to it. Like at a certain point, it felt like it was like commentary, like just like or like it was like irony, and then at a certain point in the book, it was like, God damn, I think like this might be like, if it's not it's damn close. It's definitely top 3. It's a good book. You should be reading it, Jay. So anyway, all I'm saying is I won't spoil anything for you, Jay, but there's some parallels there about the idea of like Superman could be like off somewhere else and like him and Lois aren't there anymore. But yeah, it's a different kind of Superman book. And it feels like John Kent is not ready to be Superman. Like, like in a lot of, and you all tell me if you feel different. But I know for me, I was just like it this feels like it's a weird thing to be like, okay, I'm reading a Superman book, and it feels like the Superman like should have training wheels, but he doesn't, and he's like about to hit, he's about to like go off into traffic.
Look, I felt the same way, but that's what I found was charming.
Okay.
Like, I want to see the fledgling guardian of the fucking planet, because ultimately the planetary threat, like that's why I didn't like Superman of Metropolis. What the fuck is DC? Superman's supposed to guard the globe. Like, I know he got the Justice League, but really the book stops at Superman. You know what I mean? Yeah, and it's like, that's why for me now it's like, okay, that's why they call it Superman of Metropolis, because it's like, well, you can't guard the globe until, Invincible reference. You can't guard the globe until you can guard Metropolis, and even how the whole thing played out, it's like, yeah, he's learning, and I respect his candor, but
oh, dude. Such a nerdy joke, and it's so perfect.
I've been thinking about that all week. But really, like, it's just like that made, even if it's like, oh, he's not doing what Superman's, like, he's not supposed to be doing what Superman's doing. He's learning to be Superman. Like, I didn't even know he was like evolved like a Pokemon, like Hex says in chat. But it's like he just all of a sudden he's old because of death metal. And it's like, I listened to death metal my whole life. I still have the maturity of an 8-year-old, and I'm an old man, so maybe that's what happened to John Kent. But I really like enjoyed this book, and really like talking about those nuances and storytelling and everything. Like, I've never been one to see DC to be the people to do that. Mm-hmm. I even when they do it, it's like whatever. It's like, yeah, on Vertigo. I don't expect them to do it on the main thing. And then here, it's like, okay, there's that, but also the execution of the book, the art itself. I'm like, dude,
the art is amazing.
Like, these 3 books that we're doing today, like, I'm never one to be like, oh, we got to do 3 DC books, but it's like I had just a good time enjoying all these books, and the art wise, they're all beautiful, and we'll get to that. But story wise, this John Kent fledgling Superman, it's like, to me, this is the most interesting Superman has been in like 40 years. Yeah.
Yeesh, wow.
So it's like this is like, when you're giving me a Superman for a new generation, don't give me this Zack Snyder shit where he kills. Give me the next generation, the kid. And it's like, it's something that you learn from, we talked about Eric Larson earlier, and that's what he did. This is like the Eric Larson version of Superman. And that's why I like it.
I can see that.
Yeah, this is Malcolm Kent. Yeah, instead of Malcolm Dragon.
I love it.
I think at this point they're on the second. Savage Dragon, I think, is now on the second Malcolm, like the grandkid.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, so it's, you know.
Well, so Oz, I mean, you're a resident DC aficionado. What did you think of Superman of Metropolis?
It was a little weird. I feel like they depowered him a little bit. Like I feel like he was more powerful before. The art was great. I like the idea.
You should also mention that there's technically 3 stories in this book. So
yeah,
we're not
going to get into those.
Say what?
We're not going to get into the other ones, are we?
I mean, I think we should at least mention them. But I guess I just want. I'm literally only bringing it up because when we say the art is great, we're talking about the Superman of Metropolis story. Not necessarily the other 2 stories, because the art is drastically different in all of the other stories. And I'm not saying they're bad necessarily, but I'm just saying,
you can say they're bad.
Well, no. But again, like, I'm not saying they're bad. What I am saying is the art in this story is different stylistically than the other 2. And so just because you think the art is good, like if somebody's listening and they don't even realize that there's other stories in this book, I don't want them to think like we're talking about the art throughout the entire book versus the art in just that story, because the Superman of Metropolis story art, I think, is exceptionally good.
Right.
So,
and
I'm sorry.
I like the idea of a Superman, like, not necessarily failing. I mean, I guess he does what he sets out to do, but the way he does it, like, just does it like feels like a failure at the same time. I like.
Did you freeze?
It's John Kent and not Kal-El doing that, because it would seem too out of character for Kal-El.
Yeah.
I'm not too thrilled about the costume design on John Kent, but overall, I enjoyed the story. I want to see where it goes.
I hear you. Okay.
I love Supergirl's design too. Like, speaking to the art, like I love John Kent's design too. It's different, and I love her design as well. It made her look a little more mature. Like, I can see why Larry would want to be like, oh, Superwoman with that design, but I can see why it's also girl.
Well, before we get into all that, Jay, what did you think of this book?
Oh, I liked it. I liked it a lot.
Okay.
Like, cool seeing a new Superman. Yeah, he's still learning, which isn't a terrible thing. Like, it's one way to make someone interesting, is to have them be learning.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, Supergirl, I like her too. Like, they drew her a little differently. Like, she looks a little older and a little smaller. Like, taller and bigger, but smaller. And
Jay, look, listen, you sound like you're having a stroke. Explain what you're talking about here.
Man, woman, TV.
Taller and bigger, right? That's right. She's taller and bigger. Taller.
They made her boobs smaller.
Oh, okay. Well, then just say that, Jay. Don't, like, you know.
I don't want to be crass.
Well, then listen. You got to make a choice, Jay. You either go not be crass and not mention her boobs, or you go be crass and mention her boobs. There's no in between.
Oh, I tried to go in between.
Okay.
But yeah,
that's what gets in trouble.
And I think that was a cool choice, but it does make you think.
Wait. Just for the record, you're saying smaller boobs was a cool choice?
Yeah, why not?
No,
but it's like
I'm not. I'm surprised. I feel like that's not on brand for Jay usually. Like, I feel like I'm not saying that you're like, oh, I need the biggest boobs or anything, but I feel like you're like, well, if they had big boobs before, why would you make their boobs small now? Feels like a Jay statement.
I can see where you're coming from, but I have like much more issue when they like try to pretend that they don't exist. Which they're not doing here. They're just smaller.
Got it. Hey, I'm not mad at that. That's fair. That's fair. Well, I will tell you this. I will say this, and we can talk more about this. But I wasn't as big of a fan of this story. Um, I will agree with you all in the sense that John Kent, as a fledgling Superman that's not quite ready for prime time, is interesting. That's true. But the idea of and again, this might be something where I'm not as familiar with what's been happening in DC from a continuity perspective, even though I don't.
None of us are.
Right, but I don't know that necessarily factors into the story, but it might. I don't know, but I'm just like, it feels strange to me that Kal-El would leave Metropolis in the hands of Supergirl and a not necessarily ready for primetime John.
No, if Supergirl's ready, he would fully trust her.
And also, you got to take into account that AT&T forced them to go handle that other shit.
Look, that's hilarious. Even though I'm like, yeah, I mean, okay, I don't know. I mean, it just seems weird to me that I don't know where they don't necessarily tell us where Supergirl was when John had to handle this stuff on his own or chose to handle this on his own. And obviously she does come back, but it's one of these things where it's kind of like, if he wasn't ready to be on his own, you would think Supergirl would think twice about just dipping out, for him to handle stuff on his lonesome. And it's like,
or even Superman would leave if there was something around the world that he needed to do. He would leave knowing that he could get back.
Well, but I get, and I feel that, but I guess what I'm saying is, it's one thing for Superman to go and be like, okay, well, I'm gonna leave Kara here and know that, okay, well, Supergirl can handle this. It's another thing for him to be so far removed and leave Metropolis completely, not completely, but be like, okay, well, I'm leaving it to her. And then maybe she's like, okay, well, then John is apprenticing under me. And then she leaves. And it's kind of like, well, my guy, who's watching Metropolis? John? It's not, she doesn't come back oh, I can't believe that you let this get like this. You're better. You've demonstrated that you're better than this. What are you doing? She came back okay, listen, I came back and, she was kind of almost well, I understand that these things kind of happen sometimes, but it's dude, you couldn't held this down for a little bit till I got back, and I'm just well, where is Superman? What is he doing?
Well, don't worry about him. Just worry about Supergirl and John.
But that's the thing where it's hard for me to be I don't worry about him, because it's not he can't do it. I don't
I mean, he's left before. He's left different people in charge before.
Yeah, but
I don't feel like betting on Kara and John is a bet that he wouldn't take. I'm pretty sure he thinks that they could handle it.
Okay, and I don't know, nothing.
The thing is, what Supergirl was doing was connected to Metropolis. She was actually, I forget exactly what she was doing, but she basically thought that someone was endangering Metropolis, and so she was going after all those rogue satellites to protect Metropolis. So she's like, I'm gonna protect Metropolis here, you protect it down here, and I'll be right back.
Okay. And listen, I mean, and I guess I see where you're coming from, and you very well might be right. I guess it's weird because people kind of look to this kid as Superman, and it feels like he's so not ready for it.
Well, he's been doing this for a while, not a while, but
no, they say a decade.
Know him. Right.
So I'm like
doing it with Kara.
So the original Superman hasn't been in Metropolis for more than 10 years?
Probably not.
And it's weird to me. It's like, why? I feel like they got to do a better job of telling me why, where he is.
You wanted him to stay there forever?
It's not stay there forever. It's more like...
That's what it sounds like.
No, it's more like wherever he is, he can come back because he's Superman. He's that fast.
No, it takes him a while. Like when he went to
It depends on where he is.
Fuck, I forgot what planet that was. But when he went and killed boy that used to run the death matches. Yeah, I can't think of his name. But when he went to his planet to go kill him, like he was gone for a while, like for a few weeks.
No, I mean, listen, I'm not saying he can't be away. I'm saying, where is he? You got to tell us.
I don't think you need to. Like, if the story's not about him, then you don't really need to know where he is or what he's doing.
At that point, it feels like
he's gone.
At that point, it feels like Superman's abandoning Metropolis.
No, he left it in the hands of Supergirl and Superman.
But Supergirl is capable, but sometimes she has to handle some stuff that's outside of Metropolis because there's no Superman apparently. And Superman, John Kent Superman, isn't ready. So I guess that's my thing. It's like, it feels to me like Clark Kent would be like, well, at least let me make sure that folks are like that they're at a place where I don't have to worry about it. And
I guess we view Superman a little differently.
If there's something bigger that Superman has to worry about, I'm not mad at that concept. But what is it?
Like there might not be anything. He might just be retired.
See, but that's okay with you?
Yeah, Superman at a certain point, you gotta stop or you'll go fucking nuts.
Nah.
It's like it's the reason why Batman doesn't realize he's Bruce Wayne.
No.
He needs a break.
No,
and he won't take one, and so now he's like mentally just fucked.
And that's where you and I have to differ right here, because it's like when you start comparing Batman to or you start comparing Bruce Wayne to Clark Kent, it's like, I'm not saying that like Batman, for all of his intelligence and amazing technology and his fantastic skills, it's like Batman is still a human being. And so yeah, like at a certain point, Batman can't be Batman just because he's human. Superman doesn't suffer from that problem. Like maybe he gets
from stress just the way Bruce Wayne does.
No.
He doesn't feel stress.
I'm not saying
he doesn't, because he's Superman, so he handles stress a little differently.
Yeah, he doesn't suffer from stress in the way that Bruce Wayne does. He might get stressed out, but what I'm saying is like this fool has like a superhuman physiology and like a mentality that's completely different, where it's just like, come on, man. It's like literally Superman goes and floats up in front of the sun and is able to like regenerate his body completely, and it's not like, oh, he doesn't age at all. He does age, but it's like, if you're talking about Superman being like, hey man, like, you know what, I just need to take some time off, it's like, that makes sense eventually, but we're not that far in the future, right? It's like
sometimes you just need a vacay.
Oh, look, all I'm saying is it could literally be like 2 lines to tell us why Superman, what is so important that he can't be there. Him and Lois. Because
did you finish Death Metal?
I didn't finish Death Metal.
Yeah, so read that.
Hey, you think that's going to answer my question? I don't think so.
No, but it's a good way to move into the rating and the next book.
There it is. So, I will say this. I do like the costume designs as well. I like Supergirl's more than I like John Kent's, but they're very similar, and it's weird to me a little bit that they're not. I'm not saying they need to be the same, but like the star of the book, they made his costume like a lot plainer.
It's weird to have a Superman without a cape, especially since John Kent has had a cape before.
Yeah, I mean, I feel that, and I definitely thought at first I thought that was what it was, but I don't think it is the cape itself. I think it's more so the idea that it's like their costumes feel very alike, but her costume feels like more like it's the super person costume. And it feels like he's a sidekick costume.
It's also weird to me the fact that they have a belt that doesn't do anything. Like it's not holding up their pants. It's not like a utility belt. It's really just like there.
I mean, her belt definitely doesn't do anything. I mean, his belt technically could be holding up his pants.
No, he's wearing a onesie.
No, but he could be like a Legionnaire's thing.
Yeah, we don't know that that's a onesie.
Yeah, we do.
How do you know?
The belt doesn't even go all the way around.
It does.
I don't think it does.
Look at it. It goes all the way around.
No.
Hers doesn't go all the way around. But his does.
I mean, why did Jim Lee New 52 Superman had a red belt and then he didn't have nothing holding up? Like, it's the same thing. Like,
I agree. That was weird too.
But they explained that he doesn't need a belt even in OG 52. Like, he never really needs a belt. But that yellow breaks up the colors, and it's strictly a design thing.
It's 100% a design thing. But
like they've actually commented on that I don't know if we've asked. I'm sure I have, but I don't know about we. But it's something that has been commented on. Facebook user in chat says, any words on the Spawn reboot? That was a news story we didn't get to. You have to subscribe, because there is some potential beef that could happen from that, coming from the dude that played the original Spawn, talking shit about Tom McFarlane. I might do a one shot on it.
I didn't even realize that Supergirl doesn't even have a belt. It's just a belly button ring that's huge.
Yeah, it's all designed, and that's what I say. It looks great. Like, it just looks good.
But Superman of Metropolis, like John Kent's belt, is a belt. It literally goes all the way around.
Well, we can agree to disagree.
We can't.
Like
you can look at the pictures and it goes all the way around. Like, it's not.
Look, that's nothing that I like. What, 5 out of 5? We all agree 5 out of 5. All right, next book.
So
you want to talk about the other stories?
I don't want to talk about the other stories in the book. If I pick up a book that says Superman of Metropolis, I want Superman of Metropolis.
Yeah, but they're connected.
Yeah.
They are.
Are they really? Like, I mean, they are, but
in Metropolis.
Like, this is where
Ethan Guardian is directly dealing with the fact that they're in a glass bottle.
Yeah. Look, I know this is. We talked about Van Skeever talking about like they're gonna reboot it to like 12 books or whatever, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember his actual words were something along the lines of this. Which it translates to they're gonna like downsize the books. And really what happened is like they gave me a book with a bunch of stories I don't give a fuck about. Like this new Mr. Miracle, like I'm not a Mr. Miracle fan, but I am like a New Gods fan, you know, so it's like I enjoy that.
Yeah.
And he was kind of interesting, you know, like if I actually saw a book about him, I would be like, okay, this is the new Future State Miracle Man. Like he's got his own title. Look, I might buy it, but now they forced me to buy it because they raised the price of the Superman book. You know what I mean? And I don't like that. And but his story was actually okay. I enjoyed his art. It was fine. But I was already like, look, I wanted to read Superman of Metropolis, not this shit. Yeah. And then by the time I get to the next guy, I'm like, you know what? I'm tired of people working outside the law wearing paramilitary gear. Like, so that one, I you know what? I'm not reading this shit. Like, I don't give a fuck about who he is or what he stands for. Like, I'm sure he's doing good, but really, I don't give a fuck about him because he's not a superpower person in Metropolis.
Okay.
Well, I like the Guardian story. It's basically Guardian is trying to help people. He runs into Jimmy Olsen, and Jimmy disappears, and there are fanatics who are out there trying to break the bottle, not knowing what will happen if they actually do manage to do it. And it's pretty good. Like, it's actually really interesting, despite all the parallels to all the bullshit that's going on now.
Yeah. And, you know, I mean, keeping in mind, of course, that this stuff was written before that all happened. So
Right.
Yeah, but
look,
yeah.
it was written probably about a year ago, and Death Metal took a shit long time to finish.
Yeah, like you're right.
I think the last issue came out last week for Death Metal.
Yeah, the last issue did come out last week, but it was definitely written before that. Is that a sound effect, or does somebody actually like drop?
I think you dropped something.
Yeah,
yeah. I'm like, well, I will say just really quick, the Mr. Miracle story, like the story itself, I thought was interesting. However, I was like, I don't know a lot about Mr. Miracle, and I kind of feel like this version of him was very much like Iron Man-ish, and I don't feel like Mr. Miracle is supposed to be that, but I could be wrong.
I think do we consider these stories backups?
Yeah.
I
mean, they feel like they're a full comic, so
no,
I
they're
can't
not
really.
a full comic.
They're like 12 pages.
One was like 10 pages, and the other was like 12. But they're good. Like they're at least that's the testament to the storytelling, in the sense that they feel full, but they're like literally half the size of a comic book. Both of them.
So these backups, the art isn't as good.
Yeah.
As the real book. Really, I only liked one of these backups, and that's from the Batman book, the Katana story.
Wait, that's not in this book.
Yeah.
Right. That's well. I'm trying to move on, but you guys keep bringing it back. We gave
We're not finished with Superman.
Oh my god, DC is finished with Superman. I don't know why we're not.
Damn, that's a whole friggin' thing right there.
What I can say about these backups is that while the Mr. Miracle one was cool, but the art, I enjoyed the art a lot, and the Guardian, I enjoyed the art. I didn't bother reading it, but I did enjoy the art all around. So I just didn't like the fact that I can get Wonder Woman for $3, but I had to get Superman for $8 for stories I didn't want.
Right.
Yeah,
And the Wonder Woman didn't have
Superman. No, Superman wasn't $8. Superman.
How much was
it?
He bought the cover B.
No. Oh, the cardstock cover, maybe.
I don't know. Like, I just went to the store and bought like what we needed to read for the show.
Superman was $6. Batman was $8.
6, 7, whatever, 8.
Well,
It's too much. It's too much. I paid $4 for Wonder Woman. And the thing is, you can actually pay what I paid if you go into our description and hit our affiliate link for Amazon. You can get all the books we talked about if we intrigued you enough. It'll help us out because then we can afford other comics to talk shit about. And, so yeah, do that. Click those links.
I'm sorry. You're right. Click the links. Even though what I will say is I feel as though Wonder Woman, at least when I went to the store, I feel like Wonder Woman was the most expensive one.
No, see, that was $4 to me.
That was like a regular price book.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
Wonder Woman just felt like less of a value.
Really? Is that how you felt about it? Oh,
I didn't.
Well, I mean, are we talking about Wonder Woman now? Or are we
Yeah,
still
no,
talking
no,
about
no. We should talk about
Didn't we
Batman.
rate Superman?
We should rate Superman and then talk about Batman. So, what would you all rate Superman of Metropolis? Why don't you go ahead, Jay?
I would give it a 4. Like, I enjoyed it. The Superman story I really liked. I liked the story and the art and the characters. I wasn't feeling Mr. Miracle, but it was fine. And I liked the Guardian story. Like, I thought that was really good.
Okay. Okay, so you rated a 4, you said?
4, yeah.
Okay. Oz, what would you rate Superman of Metropolis?
3.5. I mean, the actual Superman story, I like the art in that story, even though I have some issues. Like some stuff's just weird. Like the thing with the mouths was weird to me. The costume design is a little bit off. I agree with Mo. I don't like that they made me buy 2 other books. Technically, like it was a higher price for stuff I didn't really care about.
Mm-hmm.
So it lost points for that. But yeah, 3.5. I'm gonna read issue 2 and see where this goes. The whole future state, like after reading books, it's just
Wait,
confusing.
say it again.
When I saw future state for DC, I thought this was gonna be the main universe future, but it's starting to feel like I'm reading Outworlds.
Yeah, I hear
And
that.
we'll talk more about that as we read more of these books. Go ahead.
What did you think, Mo? What would you rate Superman of Metropolis?
I would have given it 5 out of 5, except that I had to buy other books with it too. Like, I was hoping Skeever was right, even though I don't want him to be right about anything. And I'm sure, like, I mean, he was probably at the storming of the Capitol. Well, no, he wasn't. If you watch Fraction of Forever, you'll realize that some people didn't go because they're fucking pussies. But John Schaefer's not a pussy. That's the one thing you can't say about it. But yeah, I definitely like, if you're gonna like consolidate shit, why give me a bunch of extra books? Like, in case I might want them. Like, yeah, I would. Look, just give me. I'm in for New God even when it's not good. You know, like I'll try it out. You know what I mean? So give me a Mr. Miracle, Miracle for a new generation. Like, I'll try it out. You know, but that maybe that's just me. I don't know. I would have given it a 5 out of 5 if it wasn't $8 for 2 extra comics I didn't want or care about.
Yeah, give us a short story one shot for $4, and that's where you put all these half-ass stories.
So what would you rate it now that it did do that, though? You told us
Well, I
you
said
would
4.
You 4? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I would
without
have
those extra stories, it would have been a 5.
Yeah, because I really love the art. I like the design of brain cells. Like that was really Lovecraftian. Like, it's a formless being that's all consciousness and reaches out. Like, I love that. And it was like a digital innovative take on a formless one from Lovecraft. Like, I don't know if that's what they were trying to go for, but for me, it hit that note in me. So I'm like, I'm in. And then this fledgling Superman dealing with that right off the bat on #1. It's like, normally in any other time of DC reboot universe, like, this would have been the 6th issue of a book that I could have been, okay, I might stick with it. But they did it right out the gate.
Okay. For me, I didn't like this particular book as much, so I think I would give it probably about a 2.5. It just didn't do enough for me in regards to like the actual Superman story for it to like feel like it made sense as a Superman story. John Kent as a character was interesting. I'll give it that, and I did like the art and the character designs, but at the end of the day, I don't know, the story didn't feel right to me, and yeah, for that reason, I give it a 2.5.
It actually inspired me to write my own story called Jesus Christ the High School Year.
Well, there it is. There it is. Good. That's good for you. So yeah. All right, cool. Let's talk about the next Batman. Oz, you want to sum this up for us?
There's not a whole lot to sum up. It's a Batman of the future, but not the far distant future, because Luke Fox is in it, and like he's been a Batman, right? He was Batwing.
Yeah, he was Nightwing, right? Oh, Batwing. I'm sorry, Batwing. I'm sorry. Yeah, right.
Yeah, so it's not too far off of the future. Apparently, Bruce Wayne, something happened to him. He's gone. They don't go too much into it, but it's they introduce you to a Metropolis that, for some reason, has hired a private security force that has the authority to shoot on sight. For some reason, anybody wearing a mask. It's completely weird. Like, I feel like they got some of the writers from Batwoman, because I didn't know what the hell was happening in that show either. When we first talked about this book, and we had a discussion about Luke Fox taking over the Batman mantle, I was kind of against it, but Lawrence over there made a decent case for why he could be a Batman, and I was willing to go with it. But turns out DC took a left turn and just introduced a whole new character and made him Batman, because the Batman of this story is Tim Fox, I believe is his name.
No, I think you got it confused. Like, Tim is the other Fox brother.
Right. Luke Fox is not Batman. It's Tim Fox.
No, I don't think so. I think.
Well, I'm telling you, it's Tim Fox. They try to imply that it might be Luke by him waking up late, because he was up all night. It's not Luke Fox. That's a fake out. It's Tim Fox.
No, the brother that's in the hospital room when Luke gets there is Tim, right?
Right, and that's the Batman. It's not Luke. It's Tim.
Oh, that's the Batman?
I'm telling you, the Batman in this story is Tim Fox. They're trying to fake you out like it's Luke, but it's not.
But they don't say it. But that's what is actually happening. You're saying,
right?
Oh, that's interesting.
There's still. I mean, only one book has come out, so there's a chance that I could be proven wrong. But I'm telling you, they created Tim Fox and made him Batman, which totally like just blows out any argument that you made for Luke Fox.
But how does it blow up the argument if?
Because your argument for Luke Fox was, I mean, he's been Batwing, like he's trained.
Yeah. But what I'm saying,
Fox is an ex-con, like with no with nothing.
But just because if that ends up being the case, which you could be right, because I'm thinking about it now, and I'm like, oh yeah, I guess that's true. Like technically, they have these thought bubbles or the text that they put up there. And just because it's over Luke doesn't mean that it's him. It could be Tim. But they don't like that doesn't mean that he's a better choice. That's just a decision they made.
I think Luke Fox would be a better choice for Batman than Tim Fox.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like, if it turns out to be Tim, it's kind of like, well, why would it be Tim? It doesn't make sense for it to be Tim. But you could be right. You're right. Like, I mean, they don't show any picture of like Luke Fox putting on like the costume.
Right. It's setting that aside, whichever one of them is Batman is a pretty good Batman. Like this felt like a Batman story.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that. And here's the thing. And maybe you can help me here. but I don't know how much you know about the Fox family. But I don't remember ever hearing anything about Tim Fox until this book.
Oh no,
I was mad that Tiffany was
created. He's totally created for this specifically.
Okay, and what did you say, Mo?
Yeah, I'm mad that Tiffany's not there.
Tiffany Fox?
Yeah,
Who is Tiffany Fox?
she's in the Telltale series.
You're dumb.
What? Why? Well, why am I dumb? It's just as dumb as this.
You know what? You're right, Mo. My bad.
Yeah, and I'm not dumb. DC's dumb.
You're right. Look. I agree. DC's dumb. Wait. So, damn. How many siblings were there in the Telltale series in the Fox family?
None. It was just Tiffany.
Oh, there's no son?
There's no Luke.
No Luke. There's just Lucius and Tiffany.
Oh, Jesus.
At least that's what they show you. They don't. That's the character that you deal with.
But,
Okay.
but Tiffany at some point transitions into Luke, I guess.
And that's
no. She transitions into Lucius.
oh, jeez.
Like she's the go-to.
Luscious is how she prefers. He prefers.
All I'm saying is, like obviously in the DC universe, they introduced Lucius Fox's son at a certain point. We knew Lucius Fox existed. We didn't know he had a son up until a certain point. So we got Lucius. I mean, I'm sorry. We got what's his full Luke. We got Luke. Then I feel like before this, I think I do remember them mentioning that he had a sister, but I could be wrong about that. I don't remember them mentioning he had another brother. And I remember and when I was reading this, I was just like, who's this guy? I'm saying? I don't remember anything ever talking about a Tim Fox. And
that's where kind of like Oz goes to being an Elseworlds feel, because they just do things here that are just like an alternate reality, and it's because of death metal. We never read death metal, so we don't know.
I read half of it, but
yeah,
I haven't read all of it.
Yeah. So because they do make a point to say that because of death metal, this is an alternate, a mirror projection of what could have been. Yeah.
Well, I mean, the idea though is like the reason why they think they're saying that, and I don't know this for a fact, and I don't know if you've finished it all yet, Oz, or not, but I read enough death metal to know that there were only like a handful, like half a dozen alternate realities, and that was the whole thing with death metal. Was like, they were destroying the other realities and using like their energy to like power themselves, and then they kept a few to be like batteries or whatever.
It's something that at some point we need to go into more depth with.
Mm-hmm.
But the TLDR
Mm-hmm.
is at the end of the event, a new multiverse is created.
Right.
And what I was led to believe as the big deal with the new multiverse is that now everything that has ever happened, like everything pre and post every other crisis, the characters now remember. So they remember the universe before a crisis and after the crisis. Every event they remember, and every event is now canon. That was supposed to be the big deal with death metal. Then they call it future state, and I keep saying it made me feel like this is the future of the main universe.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to read Death Metal 7, where it's kind of, you see some of the images you see in these books.
Mm-hmm.
That book presented as kind of Elseworlds or other dimensions.
Mm-hmm.
It's difficult for me to explain. It's something you kind of have to read more than once, because you're not going to understand it in the first read.
Right.
I hate to say that, but you have to like really take your time and try to figure out what the hell DC is trying to do.
Absolutely.
And that's the most confusing thing is calling this future state implies that it's the main universe future and what's to come.
Right.
But everything I read feels like an Elseworld story so far.
Right. Right. I hear you. Okay. Well, listen, going back to the next Batman, what do you all like? They have the friggin' the Bane gang in here. What are they called?
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing where like this series, like it looked great, but the actual story wasn't all that compelling to me. And that Bane gang, I didn't give a fuck about.
Yeah.
So it's like to me, it was like a watered down version of Batman Beyond. Like it was like they remade Batman Beyond, but Ridley Scott didn't do it.
Yeah, or even like the Legends of the Dark Knight or whatever. Like,
yeah,
I think that's a good way to say it because they don't explain what happened to Bruce Wayne. I expect him to be here till he's an old man.
Yeah, exactly.
And training Batman Beyond, and
which was the same issue I had with the Superman, where I'm like, where did Bruce Wayne go? Like, it's not like he's gonna just abandon Gotham.
But that's the thing. If the story is about a guy being left with this responsibility and like the journey, the journey is him getting to the point of becoming Superman, and it's great. But this Batman just feels like it's like, okay, it's something we've seen before, but it's just like it's toned down version of it that doesn't feel so fantastical. They want to make it feel grounded, so they make it, but it's just like a rip off of it done poorly.
Well, I mean, I'll say this. It's like the problem I personally have with it is like the character knows what happens to Bruce Wayne based on how he talks about things. He knows what happened and doesn't go into it. And you know, I can understand from a character perspective why he might be like, oh, okay, I don't need to think about that. But from the perspective of like us as an audience, we're kind of like, well, what's the deal? And you know, it's kind of like, I mean, I guess you're like, okay, it's like a little bit of a tease, and so I can give it that for at least another issue or so. But at the same time, I'm kind of like, but seriously, like, where's Bruce Wayne? Like, it's not that I need him in the book. It's more like, just let us know why he's not in Gotham anymore, so that we can like not wonder. Now, as far as like the actual execution of this book goes, it's like I do agree with you, Moses. It is grounded, but I think I know. I also agree with you, Oz, in the sense that you know the Batman is a good Batman. Like this, the way like between the story they told and the art, like the art style, it felt very much like a Batman Year One kind of thing to me, which is not a bad thing. I mean, Batman Year One is amazing, and it's interesting the idea. Like it could be coincidental, or it could be something where, you know, but it would not surprise me if it was like intentional for them to kind of be like, okay, we want this book to have a Batman Year One kind of feel to it to a degree. But at the same time, I do agree with you again too, Mo, where it's like Bane Litos, like I don't know, it doesn't feel like it's definitely not like the Joker gang. You know what I mean? It's like it does feel like a watered down version of that, or it's definitely not like the mutants, you know? So it's kind of like, yeah, it's unfortunate because it doesn't quite hit the mark as far as like, you know, antagonists go. And then also too, you have the whole thing like you mentioned, Oz, with like the you know, privatized paramilitary company running the streets, and it's like they don't quite talk about like why that happened, and they don't talk about why masks are outlawed, and if you're wearing a mask, it's okay to like shoot to kill. It's like all of that are all interesting plot points that probably should have been in the story, but were not.
Honestly, it feels like some of the writers at DC watched the first season of Batwoman and said, "Look, let us show you how you were supposed to do it," because everything in there is the Batwoman TV show.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
Even including the paramilitary security group. Like, I don't know what GCPD is doing, but they're not
exactly. Yeah, Jay, what'd you think?
Oh, I love this book.
Okay, no, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, it's. I don't know. I don't have the tethers you guys have. Like, I don't need to know where Bruce Wayne is.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not about him. It's about the next Batman.
Got it.
Like, they mentioned that the city was taken over by the paramilitary, so of course they would disband the police. Like, that's just common sense. Well, technically, they don't disband the police, though, because you have what's her name is out there investigating and trying to fix stuff.
Oh, the cop they mentioned, yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, I don't know. I'm just enjoying the ride. Like, I don't need to know where Bruce Wayne is. Just like I kind of don't need to know where Superman is.
Yeah.
Like, for me, it's just who the story's about. It's about this guy. Like, I don't need to say, like, oh, well, if Bruce Wayne's not here, why is he here? Like,
right.
Yeah, I'm not hung up on that.
Okay.
And so without that, I actually had a pretty good time. Like, there's something to me about, like, he's basically going around taking people's masks off and trying to get them to, like, be better through violence. And I don't know, I like it. Like, he's soft and hard at the same time.
I feel that.
There's at one point where he, like, takes off a kid's mask and then, like, throws him to the ground and, like, hey, I just saved you. Now do something with your life. And it's like, I like it. Like, I like this Batman.
Well, and see, that's the thing. It's like, if I'm that kid, I'm like, well, fuck you. You saved me. I didn't ask for you to save me. Like, I'll do what the fuck I want.
No, he wasn't the asshole one.
That makes you a bad person.
The other one.
Right.
Like, there were two of them. Like, there's the asshole kid, which that's the part you're playing. And I think he did say that. And then there's the brother who's like, didn't want to get into the mask in the first place. And he's getting thrown and being told to, like, hey, do something with your life. Like, I think he's going to take that to heart.
Like, I think that Batman doesn't have
slash his brother, or he might not. But I think he's going to be okay.
That Batman has not achieved enough in his life to tell me what to do with my life.
You don't know who that Batman is. You thought that Batman was
Tim Fox.
It was actually Tim.
Yeah, look, either way, neither of them have done enough.
You don't know what Tim Fox has done?
Like,
I know he's been in prison for several years.
I know Larry had an issue. Like, we had a whole 45 minutes because it shouldn't be Luke. Like, it should be Nightwing.
That was my point at the beginning. Is, look, Lawrence made a compelling argument for Luke, and turns out DC's like, nope, not that either.
So
yeah, I like it.
Jay, I know the answer to this question from you, but Moses and Oz, I'm curious. Do you all want to talk about these backup stories in this book?
I didn't bother with them.
Okay, so you didn't read it at all, Mo?
No, I was mad that I paid for them after reading the Superman one. So
and this book was like $8, like the non-card stock cover was $8. I think the card stock one was $9, and I was just like, dude, that's crazy.
Well, the problem is digitally it costs that much.
And you all know, like, from day one, I've always said that digital comics should not cost the same as print comics. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, here's the thing: if they pay the artist the same per book sold, I'm good with it. But that turns out that might not be the case.
Nah.
But we didn't get to that news.
The Katana backup story, and that's like the one story that I enjoyed out of all of them.
When you say out of all of them, you mean like out of all the backup stories in Superman and in Batman.
Yeah, because the Wonder Woman didn't have any.
Right.
I understand that Black Lightning has become a being of energy in that story, but to represent him as actual Black Lightning was a little bit like too on the nose. Like it just, I don't know. I got a weird feeling when when that like, yeah, I don't know. It was weird. Even though I actually like that.
Represented as Black Lightning.
What?
I said, but he's not actually represented as Black Lightning. Like there's
Yes,
a point where
he's represented as a bolt of lightning and is black.
Well, there's a bolt of lightning that is black, but then when he's the actual person, he's white.
Right. I don't understand why we're disagreeing.
If I could throw in just a quick little nitpick, it's an outsider story, not Katana. Like Katana's in it.
That is a nitpick, but I feel where you're coming from, Jay. You're right. You're right.
Yeah, you're right.
It's
a good Katana story. It's a crappy outsider story.
Well, in the context of Future State, I would disagree with you.
Yeah, no, I think Jay's right.
Like, they're literally the outsiders. Like, they're outside of Gotham, which is part of the conflict where the paramilitaries are like, or you have is transporting people out of Gotham, and when the paramilitary group comes, like Katana stops them at the border and says, "Hey, we're outside your jurisdiction. Like, you stay there, or else I'm gonna kill you."
Right.
Even though my husband doesn't want me to.
Right.
Well, yeah, because then the sword absorbs the souls, and he's got to share the space with them.
I need no more roommates.
I do want to say there's a panel in this outsider story that I love.
Which one?
It is the one where it's basically like 5 panels where it's almost, it reminds me of Kung Fu.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah,
absolutely. That joint is amazing. You are correct. It's more than 5 panels, but it is amazing. You're right.
Relax, Larry.
No, I'm excited.
Oh,
there it is.
He comes down and goes from one end to the other, down the stairs, through the like. It's just awesome. And then she goes and like just bursts through the floor instead of doing.
Yeah.
Like it's very cool. Like I love how they did that. Oh, it actually made my day a little brighter.
It's a little weird that they turned the katana into a lightsaber, but yeah.
Why is it a lightsaber?
Look at it. It's just a lightsaber at this point.
A glowing sword isn't the same as a lightsaber, right?
I mean, it's a saber and it shines a light.
Like friggin'
not a saber though.
Friggin' He-Man's sword glows. Does that make it a lightsaber?
Yes.
No.
I agree with you.
Well, hey, you two can be wrong together. That's okay. It's okay. But here's something that for me I was kind of like you brought up Black Lightning, and it's one of these things where it's like, okay, I mean I see what you're saying, because there is actually an actual like crackling of Black Lightning that comes down, but when Black Lightning manifests as like an actual individual, he's actually like all energy and he's like basically all white. And I can't say that it wasn't like I didn't take notice of the idea that it's like, okay, I was already like a little bit like, okay, you have the next Batman, right? And the next Batman's a black dude, but you cover up his face, right? And it's just like, okay, well, hey, I mean, it's a character design. it is what it is. But at the same time, I'm kind of like, there's been multiple Batmans, and it's like, yeah, sure. Like technically, I guess at a certain point when you have Jean-Paul Valley as Batman, he decides to cover up his face, but he starts off like not covering up his face too. But this Black Batman, his face is like all covered, so you don't know that he's black. Like there's no.
Larry, you got to take into account, like, if you see that jawline and it's a white jawline, how do you think law enforcement is going to deal with it as opposed to a black jawline?
No, I mean,
either way, he's wearing a mask to shoot on sight.
No, but the cowl. Well, no, but look, they didn't shoot on sight when they were taking over the Capitol.
All I'm saying is that it's one of these things where it's more like, I'm not thinking about it so much from the idea of like inside of the story as much as more so like the marketing of it outside in the real world, where it's like, okay, we got this Black Batman, but there's no part of you that can know that guy is black if you didn't read a news article. You know what I mean? And then you have like the Black Lightning in this story, and of course Black Lightning is another black superhero, but conveniently you can't tell that he's black either.
Now,
with Batman,
he got turned into lightning, because I know you hate when black people get turned into other things.
No, I'm not even talking about that at all. But that like, yeah, he is like an energy-ish kind of being. But what were you saying, Oz?
The covering him up part, I think if Bruce Wayne has suddenly disappeared and you want to create the illusion that Batman is still around, then you would not want people to like look at him and be, hey, that guy looks different than the original Batman I remember. So that makes a little bit more sense. And marketing wise, I think they thought it was going to be a big reveal when we find out who Batman is.
And that could be so, because Lord knows
it doesn't exist.
Future State or 5G or whatever you want to call it has gone through all types of iterations, and so it would not surprise me if that was the case. But I guess what I'm saying is, like, them knowing that the Batman is a different guy is like, okay, I get where you're coming from, where it's like it makes sense. But at the same time, it's like when Dick Grayson was Batman, you know, he wore the same costume, but people were still able to tell that it was a different person just because of how he acted.
Only like
some people that study
characters.
Wait, say what?
So only named characters could do that.
I mean, why are we talking about unnamed characters? Like, why are they?
Look, when Grayson had to keep up the act, Grayson had to adapt to fighting with a cape, because don't forget, Nightwing does not wear a cape. Yeah, so he had to adapt to that. And really, like somebody, I believe it was Two-Face, like studied film of whatever they could find on him, and he's the one that actually noticed, hey, this guy's smiling a little too much.
Yeah,
and put two and two together. But it's not like everybody. Like everybody just knew, hey, there's a white guy. There's a white guy in a bat costume. That's what I'm used to.
No,
I know Deathstroke figured it out because he's like a fighting specialist, and Riddler figured it out because he's a super genius.
I'm just saying, like, Deathstroke, Two-Face, Riddler is friggin' three people that you all thought of off the top of your head, and I'm saying, like, I don't even know if all of us are reading Batman like that. Like,
dude, I know Riddler. Like, that's what got me back into Batman. When Riddler was doing his detective agency.
Okay, but I guess what I'm saying is, what I'm saying is that off the top of our head, we could come up with three people. Well, you two came up with three people that figured it out. There's probably more people than that figured it out.
But
go
ahead, Larry. Sorry.
And I'm just saying that it's like being a white guy in the costume isn't enough. So it's kind of like, you know, I mean, I get where you're coming from. You're like, oh, well, you're trying to keep up the pretense that it's the same guy. But just as many people might be like, well, Batman doesn't cover up his chin. You know? And
Look, even when he had a mustache in Dark Knight Returns, he did, and it's like he's got facial hair that defines him, and he didn't. But that's the beauty of being a white man in America, though. They're not going to shoot on sight. You got to hide the black skin.
Hush knew.
Hey, look, I'm sure there are multiple people that knew, but
how many of those people that you mentioned that knew would rate this a 5 out of 5? Let's go to the rating.
That's fair. Wait, hold on. Wait, do you all want to mention anything real quick before we rate it about the Arkham Knight's story?
No.
Yes. Arkham Knight.
I didn't know it existed.
Right. Arkham Knights is what happens when, like, it's kind of a different take on the Suicide Squad, like a better take. Well, not better, but I feel it's more interesting.
I feel that.
Instead of like blackmailing people, like these are just escapees brought together and led by, I can't remember her first name, Arkham, in order to just try and make things better.
Yeah.
And they're hanging out at the Wayne Manor. And she's got a plan where she's going to be public, fighting the power, and being as visible as possible to try and get the people to rally behind her. And it's pretty cool. And a kind of interesting team, although they don't do a lot with them in this particular book. But it's her, Zaz, Clayface, Humpty Dumpty, and I forget the skeleton's name, and Killer Croc.
Dr. Phosphorus, I think is his name. And and you forgot to mention Two-Face.
I did forget Two-Face.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's interesting. Like it doesn't feel like it's one of those teams where it doesn't feel like there's any real cohesion.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. It kind of lends it credence a little bit to me. So yeah, I enjoyed that. Like, and I like her. Like, she's weird and stiff and a little awkward, but she's driven and purpose filled.
Yeah,
it's kind of like her.
It's one of the Arkham kids, and she's like, I think she's actually a psychologist, right? Or it seems
I believe she is.
Yeah,
her name's Astrid.
And it's almost like she's like part team leader, part like therapist for this crew, which is it's almost like an anti-Amanda Waller take.
Right.
Where it's like, you know, like Amanda Waller's like just using these people as cannon fodder. And she's like, listen, like I can take these people and try to help them and rally them behind a unified goal. And between me trying to help them and them having purpose, like they'll be healed. And I'm like, it is kind of crazy. It is different though. Like it is a different take on like the same kind of Suicide Squad-ish kind of theme. And it's cool. Like I would definitely want to see a little bit more of this.
Right.
Yeah, so that's cool. So okay, the next Batman. Moses, what would you rate the next Batman?
I'll do a 3.5. I love the art. I think I love the story. Like it's fine. It's the new generation. They did between these 3 books that we read, the Trinity ones. I feel like these are kind of made for a new generation, but they're done in an interesting way, for better or worse, and I'm okay with it, you know. Especially in comics, because you know everything's going to go back to normal anyway. Yeah,
that's fair.
But this is the more interesting way of doing it. Like I would have rather had this instead of the New 52. You know, I like how Flashpoint did it, but not New 52. Like this is way better. Convergence, this is way better. Like this is like I love the Spider-Man, the Superman one, I love the Batman one. While I didn't love it, I can enjoy it, and I can see like a Justice League with these three characters at it, with other like the kind of shit we see in these backups. It's like, okay, this could get interesting. You know, they're similar to what we've seen, but they're very different too.
Yeah.
And personality wise, not even like just story wise. Like story wise, like we talk about, like I said that, you know, from a critical perspective, I was like, oh, this is like redone beyond, but not good. But really, like the character has personality, and they're showing you his personality in an interesting way where you don't know who he is outside of the costume. And I think that's something that is almost unique to Bruce Wayne, where it's like Bruce is Batman and Bruce is the facade. And then here it's like, well, we're not showing you who he is outside yet.
Yeah.
You know? And I think that's a winning combo. So even if I didn't like this book that much, I want to see it prosper and I want to see more of it. So it'd be 3.5 for this Batman one for me.
That's fair. See, it's interesting though that you bring up the New 52, because I kind of had some thoughts on that too, and especially like in regards to the Superman of Metropolis, because I feel like the Superman of Metropolis is almost similar to the New 52 Superman, like the Jeans Superman.
Yeah,
but the Jeans Superman made more sense to me.
But the story wasn't as interesting for that Jeans Superman as this guy.
I don't know. I mean, yes and no. Like, don't get me wrong. There's some aspects of this story that are more interesting, but I feel like there's some aspects of that story that are more interesting too. And then at the same time, it's kind of like the reason why that Superman was the way he was makes more sense to me. Like, you have basically.
Well, it was still Clark.
Huh?
It was still Clark.
It was Clark, but it's Clark, like, you know, in a different setting. Like, it's Clark without the parental kind of guidance.
Yeah.
So he's like out in the world trying to make his way with all these powers, and so it makes sense.
Yeah, but
but John is different than fledgling Clark, and he's fledgling John, and he's like part human, part Kryptonian.
Yeah,
he's got big shoes to fill. Clark had no shoes to fill.
Well, but and I think that's the whole thing where it's like New 52 Clark Kent acting out makes sense, and like, you know, kind of like messing up because he's like trying to figure it out on his own makes more sense to me versus John, which like John has all of the mentorship he could ever want. He has Superman, he has Lois, he has Kara, he's got the lead, right? He's got the Justice League. It's like, and the Legion of Superheroes. It's like, come on, man! Like, why?
You don't know what it's like to raise children.
Why doesn't he know what to do? Like, it's not like he's got all the rest of the
he's
I love how Moses told me I don't know what it's like to raise children. Like, he has like a litter.
I do. Yeah, no, but like I literally had a problem with my nephew and his car insurance, and my brother was complaining to me. I didn't realize his car insurance was like, they're like, well, you should have asked his real father, me. I advised them to get that car insurance. Like, I know what it's like to get these kids doing, you know, and my clients too. Like, I've cut their hair since they were like 5, and now they're graduating high school, where they don't get to walk the stage, and it's like I've been guiding them through it. Like, kids are gonna do what they're gonna do. And even the Bible, Larry, like, you guys believe in that bullshit, the Bible, but it's like you set the kid on the path, but the kid is going to do what he's going to do, but you give him the path. You know, you put him on the path, and he's going to walk the path the way he's going to walk it. So, and that's the beauty of John Kent.
Okay. Wow.
So says the Book of Moses.
I guess. I don't know.
It sounds like Mo really wants to read Future State Justice League because it's got all 3.
Yeah, I think Future I think that's going to be interesting. Like, I already give it a 5 out of 5. Like, as much as I didn't like the Batman book, I did like that Batman. So it's like, yeah.
Jay, what would you give the next Batman?
Another 4 out of 5. I really liked the book. I really liked all the stories. The art was good. Yeah, the Arkham Knights were interesting. Outsiders were interesting. It's a little weird that they're not going to get continued in the next book. But
I think they're just going to tell a different backstory in issue 2.
Right. I'll be back in issue 3. But it's still weird.
You're not going to buy, or you're not going to read 2?
No, I am. I'm going to read. I'm loving, so far I'm loving Future.
Gotcha.
Like, I'm all in.
Gotcha.
Me too.
Oz, the next Batman.
3.5. I mean, the Batman story itself, I like the story. I like the art. I want to keep reading that. I don't like that they're making me pay for these other stories. Like, I feel like between the stories in this book and in the Superman book, you could have had a Tales of the Future State book.
I hear you.
I might have bought that actually,
Yeah.
and just to see what's going on. I don't like
For my expectation.
Yeah, I don't like a backstory in a book that's more than like 4 or 5 pages.
Yeah, this book is an expensive book too. I remember buying it and being like, wait, $8? And then when I told you, like I said, the card stock one was a buck extra, which, you know, the actual card stock is probably worth 10 cents, but they charge you $1 for it. And I'm just like,
You don't know what it is.
It's 10 cents.
It could be archival cotton from Arsh.
It's 10 cents. So, but yeah, I hear that. As far as I'm concerned, the next Batman, I give it a 3. It's not a bad book. Honestly, every story in here I enjoyed. But there were definitely some things where I'm just like, it's good. It's not great. And
It's not a bad book, but it's not an $8 book.
It's definitely not an $8 book. But even if this book was regular priced, I think at the end of the day, I would just kind of be like, it's a good book, but it's not a great book, especially for like a #1 and like launching like, you know, what potentially might be a new like Batman kind of franchise. Like the story I enjoyed the most out of these 3 stories was the Outsiders one. And for it to be a Batman book, it's weird. Like I didn't not enjoy any of them, but they're all okay. And the Outsiders one is the one that in my opinion stood out because I felt like Katana as a character was interesting. And so, you know, but yeah, at the end of the day, it was just like, it's all right. And so I'm going to give it a 3. Let's talk about Future State Wonder Woman. Mo, can you give us a synopsis for this bad boy?
She's hot as fuck.
Listen, wait, I will say that you're wrong for saying that. And I will also say I 100% agree. Like,
She's Brazilian. Like that's
Oh,
some of
dude.
the hottest women. Like,
No, but the thing is, here's the actual synopsis. Look, she destroys a Hydra to take this horn, and like just the cover itself, like the font for Wonder Woman is good.
Yeah.
Like they understate the future state, you know, and it's just Wonder Woman. It just looks like a good
Yeah.
What's his name? Not Camus. The other guy, the Chat Noir painting guy. Like it just looks like one of his paintings on the cover.
we're talking about, but I agree with Mo.
Wait, is that how you pronounce that?
Chat Noir? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting.
I don't know what we're talking about.
Because I only seen it spelled, so it's spelled like cat.
It's spelled like cat?
Chat.
Chat,
C-H-
yeah. So I call it chat because I'm American, and noir because I want pretentious. So chat noir. But yeah, like there's that aspect of the Wonder Woman, but the story itself is her in the Amazon rainforest, and it just talks about these Zeus mating with like an Amazon god, and from that mythology, and she's fighting a rogue Hydra in a terrain she's not supposed to, but she just wants to get the horn to bring her friend from Hades, which is like, this is what Wonder Woman 84 should have been. Yeah, like I said that when we did our wonderful Wonder Woman review, you know,
What?
back.
Why did you say it? Why did you say it like that? Like, did that happen during the show?
No, but that's what the title is on our podcast.
Yeah, look, that's what I was trying to figure out. I was like, why is that the title?
Yeah, just for alliteration purposes.
Hilarious. Got it.
Yeah. But the art is beautiful on this one, and this is where it's like, man, I'm all in on Future State because they're putting, like, even that Hell to Pay right there that you're looking at on our screen, like they painted it or drew it or colored it, whatever. I don't know how if it's done digital, but they did the focus. The focal point is her, and the character in the foreground is out of focus. That's a photography technique that they actually took the care to do that on the opening splash page, and it's just done really well. I love the design of Wonder Woman, like that armor, but it's like the one bikini or whatever. Like I don't know what they call those. But it's like the bodysuit, but it still looks like armor. Like it's a one piece, but it still looks like armor.
Yeah, I agree.
It's like you couldn't have a better design for Wonder Woman. Like I would have rather seen that than the chicken suit.
Definitely. The only part about the design that I'm not as keen on is I feel like under the shoulder pads, her arms could have been out. But at the same time, like I'm not mad at it. Like I think what I don't like is the multicolor on the arms. Like I feel like the arms maybe should have been all blue or maybe all red. But I think ultimately them being bare from the shoulder to the wrist gauntlet or the arm gauntlet would have been cool. But it's great design either way. Like I can't. There's no point in the book where I was like, oh, I don't like it. It was just like I feel like it should be that, and I would have loved. I'm sure there was a design that way at some point, but dude, Joelle Jones, man, like this chick is amazing.
She's an artist or writer?
Both.
Oh, she did both. Oh, wow! I'm impressed,
right. Dude. And you know,
well, let me finish the synopsis. So. In her killing and slaying the Hydra, the rogue Hydra, she's encountered by one of the trickster gods that are. It's not the gods you're used to. This is Brazilian paganism. I don't know what their indigenous people are called, but she's like, you can't do this. And then they give you a little tidbit of their interaction. Like they know each other, they encroach each other on previous adventures that we've never seen because, you know, and I love that. Like I love coming, you know, usually they give you an issue 0 or an issue 1 where you don't know what's going on. Here, you don't know what's going on, but through you know enough to know what their dynamic's going to be moving forward in the next couple pages. So it's done masterfully. I actually feel that about these 3 books all around in Future State. So which is why I'm in on Future State. Make mine DC. But I'm glad they got rid of Dan Didio, even though he hasn't, you know, especially because he hasn't accepted my Facebook friend request. But
Dan, look, I think all this would have happened even more so if Dan was there. Like Dan was all about
like, you know, it just would have been George Perez drawing this Wonder Woman.
Oh, I don't know if that's true, but you might be right.
Like, you can't be mad at me for saying that.
I can't.
But yeah, and it just moves forward. Even the way they handle purgatory and this multi belief system transition period to the world of the dead is done really well, and it just the art in it, the design on that goddess, that trickster goddess, is done really well with the warthog and how it plays out. Like the story, when it said to be continued, I'm like, wait, there's no backup. Like,
right.
I wanted to read more of this book, like even if it was something tying into it ancillarily, like a Katana or a Mr. Miracle or Spartan or whatever the fuck they called them in this. He just looks like the guy from fucking Arrowverse to me. So
yeah.
But yeah, the design, I love it. And like, you know what? I'm glad Wonder Woman 84 was a piece of shit. They can just go to this one. Like, just jump to the Brazilian one.
Look, Oz, what did you think?
I feel like I need to start by saying that Joelle Jones, as both a writer and an artist, is amazing in this book.
Okay.
I'm all in on Yara Flor as Wonder Woman. I am actually in 3 battles right now with other people trying to buy art of this character.
Okay.
So I'm in. I'm in on this character. I have problems with this book.
What are your problems?
My problem with this book is it's sold as a Wonder Woman #1, but they never explain to you that Yara Flor necessarily is the Wonder Woman. The opening narration talks about how people show up when they're needed, and in whatever the case of the story that this opens up with, Wonder Woman showed up when she had to, but they don't tell you this character is Wonder Woman. And then in this story, this character is on a mission to save her Amazonian sister who is trapped in hell.
Mm-hmm.
And like picking this book up as someone like, I know that Yara Flor is supposed to be future state Wonder Woman because of the stories that I've read. Like we've had these discussions on this show. Doing this show is the reason I know this character. Somebody just picking up a book randomly at a comic book shop would like. That's how I try to read it. I think that somebody picking this book up would feel like Yara Flor is on a mission to free the real Wonder Woman from whatever prison she's in hell somewhere.
I hear you. No, I can see that.
So I think in that aspect, it kind of failed because this is supposed to be Wonder Woman, but the whole everything about this book makes me feel like this character is a new character on a mission to save Wonder Woman, and then at some point I'm going to get the real Wonder Woman. I don't know if you guys got that. Like, I'm telling you, it's a good story. I like the story. I love the art. I like the character. I'm in a bidding war with 3 people to buy art for this character, but the way this book was done, it didn't make me feel like this is the Wonder Woman of the DC universe. No, and that's my only issue with this book.
I can feel.
I will say.
Oh, go ahead, Jay.
I will say, being a Wonder Girl fan, I know that the title of Wonder Woman will not stay with Diana. Like, yeah, like it's not gonna stay with her. So seeing someone new as Wonder Woman didn't really throw me.
I know for me, like I feel where Oz is coming from in the sense that not so much that it's like, oh, how could somebody else be Wonder Woman, as much as the way that it's written, you could interpret it as Wonder Woman being the person that she's going into hell to go release.
Right. It's not even an issue of Diana Prince being like the Wonder Woman, and that's like you could have thrown in Nubia as the Wonder Woman. That's not the point. The point is this book does not take the time to tell me that Yara Flor is Wonder Woman.
It alludes to it, but it doesn't come out and say it.
But that's the thing. That's kind of the beauty of these 3 books, the Trinity of Future State, where they kind of have that through line where they're all fledgling, and you're watching their journey. You know,
they're fledgling, but Superman of Metropolis, they tell you that's Superman.
Look,
Batman,
look, he doesn't feel he's Superman. So his journey is him accepting I'm Superman. And that first step of putting Metropolis in the Glass City, it's like I made an executive decision for the greater good. And that is a trial by fire for him. It's the part that it's almost like if there was a virus that came and he could protect the country, and that would be his defining moment, and whatever he does is what defines the next 4 years. You know,
go ahead.
But and with Batman too, like, you know, he's dealing with Gotham being the way it is. They allude to Gotham in the Superman one because it's so lawless now. And now it's like, okay, no matter who this Batman is, it's like, how is he going to handle this shit? I mean,
there's actually a moment in that Batman book where he does actually refer to the real Batman.
Yeah, and it's like,
I mean,
actually, I'm the real Batman. Like,
yeah,
but
and then this Wonder Woman too. It's like this is her moment of like getting like she's going for the golden fleece. You know, like this is her. This is her journey.
I will say though, to Oz's point though, I think that's kind of like he might have been looking for that similar kind of moment in this book, either where she is either somewhat questioning or fully accepting that, oh, I'm Wonder Woman, and it instead of it being like a hard on, like I am Wonder Woman,
hard on,
it's more like it more alludes to the fact that she's Wonder Woman. Like Wonder Woman is in the right place at the right time, but it doesn't say that we're talking about Yara. Is that her name?
Yara, yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, I know she's Wonder Woman because I've read the news stories. Somebody off the street that for some reason chose not to subscribe to Fantastic Forum. I don't understand why. That seems like any failure in your life stems from that first decision of not hitting the subscribe button right somewhere in this area. Somebody just wanting to pick up a Wonder Woman book, picking this book up. I think they would expect that this person is gonna help Wonder Woman escape in book 2 or 3 of this story.
Well, I mean, it does say DC Comics presents Wonder Woman. Like, wouldn't that make you think?
No, because it doesn't. No, because they don't let you know that this is Wonder Woman.
I think Oz is trying.
There's only 2 people in this book, and one of them looks like Wonder Woman, and one of them is a trickster god.
But these 2 people are discuss a third person who is a sister to this character, an Amazonian. So that to me that says okay, these people, they're going to go help the real Wonder Woman.
I think Oz is trying hard not to like the book led by a female character.
I feel if you wanted to not understand that, you probably could, but like when you try to not understand things, it kind of just makes you look silly. Like if someone was like, "Oh, I didn't know this was the actual Wonder Woman," like, well,
look,
that's kind of on you because they tell you.
Okay.
I don't even see like Oz's point. Like if his point is actually what it is, and it's not even about her. I don't understand how this makes it not a good first issue. Like it's still an enjoyable issue with beautiful art and
I'm not saying it's a bad first issue. Like I said, I like the story, I like the art.
So
it's not a bad issue.
For 20 minutes.
It's just from the thought of getting people into this book. It just I challenge. Look, okay, you guys all have a copy of this. I challenge you guys to give it to somebody who doesn't listen to the show regularly, and just ask them, have them read it, and just kind of get their thoughts on it, because I think there's a commonality that they're not going to believe that this is the actual Wonder Woman in this book.
I would have socialized during the pandemic.
Oz, I need you to do me a favor, Oz. Look into your camera lens, because I need you to look into my eyes. I'm gonna look into mine. You've done the show with me for 15 years. What the fuck have I said about other people? Fuck other people. We do the show for us. We don't get to spend 20 minutes to see what they're going to buy or not going to buy. They're going to buy what we tell them to buy. That's been our motto from day one.
Oh, well, if that's the case, buy this book. It's a great book.
Yeah. This is what we do here on Fantastic Forum. That's why there's affiliate links right here in the description. You buy the book, we get a little kickback. It doesn't cost you any extra. You buy the book, you like it, you tell us you don't like it. Hey, you know what? Send it back. Amazon Prime has free returns.
That's true.
No questions asked.
I will say this. I think I don't feel like Oz's point is off base.
Yeah, but you hate women. Like Oz, you should know you're doing something wrong when Larry agrees with you.
See, look,
I'm conflicted because somebody's agreeing with me, but it's Lawrence.
Oh, see, listen. I'm just saying, like, I think the book is amazing. This was no question. This was my favorite of the three.
Yeah.
Like,
Same
this was a read, and I was like, what? Like, let me put it like this. Like, I knew that Joelle Jones was doing the Catwoman series, and I wasn't messing with that series just because, it was like the series that was like after the whole wedding fake out thing with Batman and Catwoman. And I was just like, I don't need to mess with that. You know what I mean? It's no big, I was like, yeah. Like, I'm not even a Catwoman fan like that. And I read this book, and I was like, dude, this chick is the truth. Like, I need to go back and read whatever else she's done. And I'm going to go back and read Catwoman because I want more of her writing and her art because it was stunning. And I was just like, I loved like the characterization of all these people. Like, and that's the thing. Like, this book was full of all new characters, and I was just like, I like all these people. Like,
minimum introduction, Larry. Minimum introduction. Like, nothing. Like, I didn't read no death metal. Like, I don't know what's going on.
I don't think any of these characters were in death metal. I don't think it
That's
matters.
what I'm saying. Like, they tell you because of the thralls of death metal. I don't know nothing about them, but I love all of them. Like, I want a Cerberus tattoo done by Joelle Jones.
Yeah. Oh, no, dude. Dude, she's amazing. And I knew she was a great
sumo
artist.
wrestler. Yeah, like I want the sumo wrestler, like just the expression on the sumo wrestler's face. Like the amount I love writer artists because I feel they do their vision, like when they actually write it out, that's what they see. But half of them can't execute it.
Yeah.
And I felt like just the expression, like to take the care to have that sumo wrestler do that execution for the coin, it's like it's masterful. Yeah. This is a how-to in comics.
I don't even mind that she put balls on the lasso of truth.
I don't think that's lasso of truth, is it?
No, it's the bolo of like
balls of truth.
Bolitas.
Yeah. Well, they call it the in South America. They have that weapon. That's how the shepherds wrangle everything. Yeah. It's a bolo of I don't know, bolo of sinceridad or something.
Look, all that aside, it's great art. It's a great story. I even like little details like as she's talking to like a little demon thing, and it's like speaking in its own language. You don't know what it says, but the way it's done, it's like it's
the facial expression on that little demon,
dude,
is like
it's so good,
amazing. Yeah,
like you just now, Oz, you're like, oh, I'm in a bidding war to get like original art for this character, which from Joelle Jones, right?
There was one piece from Joelle Jones, but I don't think I could afford.
Oh, okay.
She's way overpriced.
Poor ass.
Look,
hold on.
I'm sorry.
I need to apologize because I said overpriced, and that's
out of your price range is what you meant.
Out of my price range,
right? That's what you meant. Right.
I ain't got it like that.
Right, and that's okay. That's what. Listen,
broke ass.
But listen,
money, y'all.
Jay's messing around and showing us the demon, but that was the thing. Like it's amazing because like based on the answers from the little fairy thing, you can tell what the demon said, even though you can't see it or you don't understand it. And it's awesome because it's like here's the thing, like especially like someone like myself who I'm like I've been to a lot of like hotels. It's like this definitely. I was like, dude, they're having like a Vegas hotel check-in conversation, like when you go to like the friggin' VIP desk.
It's more than that. It's like the entrance to hell is at airport, and I totally relate to that.
Right.
Well, I love like Larry knows that's the expression you make. It's like, is somebody gonna shoot up the concert tonight?
but but it's also good, and just the fact that I mean, even just like Yara as Wonder Woman, like a Wonder Woman with like anger issues, like that's so like interesting and different, and it's just like like dude, she's amazing, and I like, out of all the books we read today, like this is the one where I'm like, this character can't go away. Like
we literally wasted our time with the other books. Like we're pulling a tight 20 minutes. Like if we wanted to keep a tight 2, like we could have devoted an hour to this book.
And it had like Brazilian cultural references and stuff too, which I'm just like, dude, like,
which is okay. It actually it makes me feel good that we're not getting to the movie we're reviewing.
Wait, what is it?
We're not. We're already tight 3.5.
Yeah.
But the biggest it was a funny thing when I was explaining the character to my wife, and she said, "Wait, Wonder Woman's Brazilian now? I thought she was supposed to be an Amazon warrior." And I was like, well, "Yeah, she's from Brazil, so the Amazon rainforest." And she just like laughed for like 5 minutes. That's when I knew, like, okay, they got something going on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, it's good stuff. I liked it a lot. Like, what Oz, what would you rate it?
I really want to give it like a 4 or 4.5, but I feel like I have to 5 because I just, it's a good story. It's great art. I mean, I can't, like, the most negative thing I can say about it is coming from a place of someone who has never read a book before, and someone who's never read a book before is not necessarily going to buy this book. So 5. If you're listening to the show, click the link, buy this book. You're going to enjoy it. It's a great book.
Jay, what would you rate it?
4.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I love this book. The art, the story, the character, the side conversation. Yeah, it's amazing. Like, part of me kind of wishes there were backup stories, but I get that they're not. So it's like, but yeah, I enjoyed this book a lot.
It's a $3.99 book, right? So we don't, like, we're not paying extra for anything,
right?
I'd pay $10 for this book.
Yeah, like this one definitely, if it was more expensive, I would feel better about it. Like, but I feel like and maybe it was just the cardstock cover that was more expensive, but I was just like, what? Like, anyway, Moses Magnum, what would you rate this book?
This is a 5 out of 5, man. I've never embraced progress so much. Like, I hate change. Like, if you listen to Fantastic Forum, you've heard us on All Games, you've heard us on Podbean, you're hearing us on YouTube. I always hate change. I hate different. But this is like, to me, this is the greatest shit ever. Like, I want more of this. 5 out of 5.
Yeah, no, it's a great book. I think I got to give it a 5 too. Like, it's like, I'm trying to think what more do I want from it, and I'm not sure there's anything more I want from it other than the next issue. So I'm gonna go ahead and just give it a 5 out of 5, man. It was great. It was fun. It's beautiful. The story's good. The characters are interesting. Like, this is the character in my mind. I'm like, this character can't go away after Future State transitions back into whatever he's trying to do next.
Joe, what would make you give it a 5? Like, I would love for this book to be the one time we give it all 5 out of 5. But like, what keeps it from a 5 for you?
I really think it is the no backups. Like, I read Superman and Batman before, and I was like, I had gotten used to the format. Like,
yeah,
you get your main story, and then you have your 2 backups, and then I got to Wonder Woman, and I'm like, man, I'm loving this. Like, I can't wait to see what the backstories are. And then it was like, it just ended.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, this is a really good book. Like, I wish there were more.
But they don't charge you extra either, though. with the other
And
book.
the thing is, like,
Look, I already paid $10 for Batman. Like, I'll pay $10 for Wonder Woman. Like, and you give me some good backups. Like, it's what I want. Like,
so can we say that it's a 5 with an asterisk?
I think you can. Like,
Because that's gonna be our Instagram post for tomorrow. It's gonna be our faces here with a Wonder Woman under it, 5 out of 5. And then
I think it gets bonus points because of all the books. I really wanted to hate this one, and
Why?
so 6 out of 5.
Why did you want to hate this one?
I like
Because it's a woman of color, Larry. Like a woman of color that's like pro-choice.
Why aren't you pro-choice? Wait, what?
I also like the Pegasus, and I'm glad he wasn't in it too much.
Jerry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't like that his name was Jerry. Yeah, I didn't like that.
What?
that made it funny.
Yeah, but it's like they don't look. That's a white name. That's white. Name.
It's a white horse.
Yeah, but he's not like white. Like he doesn't like get angry about affirmative action.
Like of all the books, like this is the one that I really wanted to hate, and damn it, Joelle Jones is way too fucking talented.
Super talented.
That it became my favorite of the 3 that we've talked about so far. It
So
became
6 out of 5. Our Instagram post is going to say 6 out of 5.
well, it's 6 out of 5, but I think Joe's 4
I
brings
can
it to
condone that.
I
I can condone the 6 out of 5.
there it is. Jay's condoned 6 out of 5.
Right.
No, literally, like I read this book and I was like, damn, I think I've been sleeping on this young lady, and I felt bad about it. I was like, I need to go back and read her other stuff because I was
She
like,
doesn't have other stuff. This is her first stuff.
no, she did Catwoman.
Oh, I thought you meant the Yara Floor.
No. I'm just talking.
You mean
about,
Joelle Jones?
Yeah, I'm talking about Joel.
Yeah, no. She's
Like she even has the perfect comic book name, like JJ.
Yeah.
Like, and it just flows together. Joelle Jones, like
I was like, man.
Like if anybody married her, like he wouldn't want to change that name either. Like just leave it as Joelle Jones. I'll be Jones.
Mr. Joel Jones.
Yeah, Mr. Joelle Jones.
But yeah,
She
man.
worked on American Vampire?
Huh?
She worked on American Vampire?
Oh yeah, the anthology.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Look,
And
that
Miss Marvel.
What's she doing, Marvel?
Miss
Miss
Marvel.
Oh, Miss Marvel. See, I don't think I read it while she was doing that.
like
like
you
she
didn't
was-
read it when she did do it.
And this isn't even her first Wonder Woman. She was writing for Wonder Woman before.
Yeah,
Wow.
we've all been sleeping on Joelle Jones.
Absolutely. No,
In
no
fact,
question.
that might be the title of this. We've been sleeping on Joelle Jones instead of
Yeah,
Fake
dude.
Ass Black.
I right. but
But
I,
Fake Ass Black has a good ring to it, though.
I,
She drew Ultimate Spider-Man 150.
I have. Oh no! Do I have that? Maybe I don't.
Yeah, you do. Just say you do for the clicks, for the likes.
Oh, okay. I have it for the clicks and the likes. Like link in description for that book if you want to buy it through an affiliate. Like,
Yeah. Link to a random comment 3.5 hours into the show.
there it is. Like, but people are gonna be into it. But anyway, but yeah. So okay. So Jay, are you okay if we push the Immortal Warrior to next week?
I mean,
Yeah, fine.
I'm
did
okay
you love
with
it? Hold on, real quick, Joe. Did you like it?
Like what? Immortal Warrior?
Why don't we just do
Yeah.
it?
I liked it a lot. Like,
Oh, okay.
We'll just
Well,
do it next week.
let's talk about it next week because
Yeah.
I still haven't had a chance to watch it.
Oh, boo, boo.
No,
Well,
look, I mentioned it on our pre-production, and I never got our review copy.
Well, you asked if we had one, and I told you where you can get it, but I didn't know you couldn't get it. So
I cannot get it.
I'll get you a review copy. And look, if you had those feelings about Wonder Woman in Brazil, I have a feeling you're not gonna like
I read the synopsis of the story, and I am not looking forward to it. But I am going to watch it.
The synopsis is the best part.
The synopsis felt like it was preaching to me already, and
that's the thing. It's not. The movie. Look,
I'll watch it.
Fantastic Forum teaser for next week's review of Immortal Warrior.
The fact that
Amazon rates it 7+.
Joe really enjoyed it, so
7+ out of 5.
No, like that's the age rating.
Oh,
like Jay enjoyed watching it, so that makes me feel like I'm gonna enjoy it.
Here's the thing. In a nutshell, a god gives a guy powers to liberate his people, and all he does is really just fucks the same wife, generation to generation, and doesn't free the people.
I mean, should we just do the review or no?
No.
I
haven't watched it. We'll save it. Look, we've already been on for 3.5 hours. I gotta get to bed.
But I still have to do my tribute to my mom because it's her birthday. That's gonna be a half hour. Yeah, I prepared a whole packet of stuff. Like, I have George Clooney wishing her a happy birthday. Nicole Kidman. Like, we have
another hour.
She's still waiting to call in. Like, because I was gonna call her in and do a whole like celebration for her birthday.
Happy birthday, Mrs. Magnum.
Yeah.
Call in.
No, Are we not doing that? I can tell her to like go to sleep. She can go to sleep. She's still working. She has to be at work at 6 a.m. tomorrow.
Tell her to go to sleep.
Okay.
Has she read Wonder Woman?
She actually did, because for her birthday I made her do pre-production too.
Did she think that she was Wonder Woman, or did she think she was going to rescue Wonder Woman?
She was actually mad that Wonder Woman didn't fight anything after the Hydra. Like, she's like, I want to see her kicking ass.
I really do want, like, at least one of you guys to pass that book around and see what people think.
I'll do it. But I mean, it's like, you met my mom. Like, my mom saying that Wonder Woman didn't kick enough ass in this book would be an actual valuable review. Like, I should have.
I believe your mom would be able to kick my ass.
Yeah. She did. One of the fondest memories is her telling me that my dad was beating her and she got mad, so she threw the boiling beans at him, and then we didn't have dinner because it's like, well, he hit me, so I threw it at his face.
I mean, that's what you do.
Yeah. And he ran away like a little bitch. R.I.P. my dad. He's still alive, but you know.
So can we get that final thought music?
I was just sitting here like, Moses' dad's not dead.
It's funny. What was the movie that I watched Ad Astra. I wanted to review that on the show.
Ad Astra, yeah.
Ad Astra. But I only wanted to review because this motherfucker went to Neptune to visit his dad. I can't go to Highland Park.
Was no pandemic on Neptune.
Oh, was there?
Oh, or was there? Like, right. Okay. Jay, give me some final thoughts, man.
So if you want to pair this with something, I couldn't really think of anything good. So just go rewatch Justice League War.
Fair. Oscore, final thoughts.
If you're trying to buy original Joel Jones art, stop. I can't pay that much. Don't outbid me.
Send me the link. I'll team up with you.
I'm about to say, yeah, y'all better pull your money. Like, you pass it back and forth every month.
I'm just gonna buy Lupicello stuff. I can afford her.
Moses Magnum, final thoughts.
Look, I mentioned my mother. Happy birthday, the baddest bitch in the fucking galaxy. She passed me through her fucking pussy. You know, she's the baddest there is, the baddest there ever will be. And this is the picture I'm gonna have tattooed on me when she finally dies. I'm gonna be 80 when she dies. I have a feeling I'm gonna die before her. But yeah, happy birthday, Elvira Magnum.
Indeed. Happy birthday, Mrs. Magnum. Yeah, you're awesome. We appreciate it.
Ms. Magnum.
Oh, I'm sorry. Miss Magnum.
Mama Magnum.
There it is. Thank you. Mama Magnum. For the entire Fantastic Forum, thank you all so much for hanging out with us. If you've gotten this far in the show, hey, God bless you. It's like we've been on for a little while, but we appreciate you hanging out with us. Let us know what you liked, what you didn't like, what you want to hear more about, what it is that we didn't mention that you want us to make sure we add or talk about next time. This is Fantastic Forum. We'll be back next week. Until then, we appreciate you, and we'll catch you then.